studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning, Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello. And welcome into the show, everybody. Happy Thursday. We got a Lions game tonight. Would you look at that?
Holy crap.
Only one starter going to be playing. I'll tell you who that is a little bit later on in the show. I'll tell you what you should be watching, looking for in preseason game number 1 tonight against the Bengals.
Big league hit by Deion Branch.
Right, Deion Branch. He will not be playing tonight. Still injured. It's going to be a Tigers-heavy show, though. There's 3 players specifically I want to talk about throughout the course of the show. Riley Greene, who the Tigers are going to be without for at the very least the next 9 days after he gets put on IL yesterday. Spencer Torkelson is kind of red hot right now, and it's starting to make me really wonder about his long-term future with this team because that seemed like it was a sealed fate a month ago, and that's not the case anymore. We're going to start things off with the MVP candidate, Dillon Dingler, who's a consensus top 5 guy to win the American League MVP. He will end up on the ballot. What happened yesterday in the 9th inning when he came to the plate as the game-winning run was diabolical. I think that was without a doubt the worst at-bat of the season. 3 pitches, 0 swings, 3 strikes, Dillon Dingler goes down. Huh? This is the MVP candidate. This is the guy that we've all fallen head over heels in love with because at 27 years old, he's become the best catcher in all of baseball. Not only because of his glove and what he can do behind the dish, but because of his bat, mostly because of his bat. And he just decided to not swing it yesterday with the game on the line in what was the most important game of the entire season. You could have won the series a day early, and Dillon Dingler goes down without even taking a swing on Cade Smith in the bottom of the 9th inning. I couldn't believe if Chris Webber calling a timeout was a 10 out of 10, just like, oh, you totally froze and you had no idea what was going on. And J.R. Smith not knowing what the score was. If those were both 10s, I get it. This isn't a playoff game, so the stakes aren't as high. However, they kind of are playoff games for the Tigers. What happened yesterday with Dingler has to at least be a 7 or 8. That was putrid. I couldn't believe what just happened in the 9th inning. In this game specifically, if this was last week or just against some other random team, or if this was in the first inning, we'd be like, what was that? That was weird. But this is against the Guardians. This is against the team that was 1-5 against you going into that game. A team in which you had to beat yesterday and had an opportunity to do so. You, Dillon Dingler, is the best bat on this team without Riley Greene in the lineup as well. You have to swing once. One time. Swing the bat. And Cade Smith pumps 3 fastballs at you. You don't swing at any of them, all of which are in the zone. Kyle, that was the worst at-bat of the season. And unfortunately, we have to do this to start out the show. It won't all be negative. I'm not just going to scream into the microphone for 3 straight hours about this single at-bat. But I really couldn't believe the lack of effort there from Dillon Dingler. And all of a sudden, I'm like irrationally upset watching this game on my couch. I'm starting to Google how far did Dillon Dingler grow up from Cleveland. It's less than an hour. I feel like Steve Harvey after someone gives a bad answer on Family Feud, and Andy Dirks is like, good effort, guys. Good answer. Good effort. And I'm like, what was that? Dillon Dingler just had the worst at-bat of the season. We just totally glossed over it. That was such a gut punch. And to every fan that is just so invested into this team, not only were they confused about that at-bat from Dillon Dingler, not only were they disappointed, but they were let down. right? From a guy who's supposed to be an MVP candidate, that was such a letdown of an at-bat to where if you fly out in that situation, so be it. If you strike out, so be it. That can't happen, though. You got to at least swing the bat one time, especially when you go down 0-2. What do you think's going to happen, man? You got to start fouling off some pitches the way that Max Clark did in the previous inning. Play baseball. It was a really tough way to end the game yesterday. Now the rubber match today becomes a true must-win game, maybe the first must-win game of the season.
Yeah, I mean, that I mentioned this, but Riley Greene, Spencer Torkelson have been two guys that Tigers fans have heavily criticized for not being clutch players. And we obviously view Riley Greene as the three-time All-Star, a franchise cornerstone. We once viewed Spencer Torkelson as the former first overall pick. He should be a star of this team. So you're going to hold them to high standards in those moments. Now Dillon Dingler is that guy. And so as much as he has been the MVP candidate, he has been the guy that we have loved all season long, the biggest surprise ever. We probably haven't dogged on him a single time this season. Like, That's how great he's been. We do have to hold him to the same standard. We make a lot of jokes on this show about, oh, they looked like you and I out there. That's literally what would happen if I was out there.
Mm-hmm.
I would not swing. Oh, maybe I'll draw a walk. That's exactly what I would do. So Dillon Dingler and I are both MVP candidates. We are one and the same.
He's 1 for 21
ridiculous.
in his last 5 games, by the way. So just kind of ice cold, and the worst stretch of the season to get cold from when you have to start winning these games, especially with no Riley Greene the rest of the way. You know the Mitch McConnell meme of him just completely frozen? It's like, dude hasn't moved in 30 seconds. That was Dillon Dingler. The entire at-bat, I'm not sure he actually moved. It's like he saw a 200-mile-per-hour pitch and never even saw it. Except that wasn't the case. Cade Smith, great closer. The moment felt too big.
He also was like 35 pitches in.
Right.
The Tigers did a really good job of having the long at-bats against him to burn him for a potential spot for him today in Game 3, which is great. Dingler didn't.
The moment felt too big for Dillon Dingler, unfortunately. And he's going to have more moments to make up for that. I don't think that defines who Dillon Dingler is. But and I hate to just define a player by a single at-bat. That was arguably the biggest moment of the entire season if Dingler comes through right there. And I really thought he was going to. Takes strike 1, 0-1. Okay, now we got to battle it out. Takes strike 2, now we're 0-2. And they flashed the graphic, his last at-bat, that Dillon Dingler has the second most RBI in all of baseball with 2 strikes. So I still have this all right, we still got a chance. This is right where Dingler likes it. And then he just does it again. I was like, what are we doing right now? I couldn't believe it.
It's not even the fact could he come through in this spot? I still felt like he could come through, and that would have been the biggest spot of the moment. Try
Right.
to come through. If he has 3 straight swing and misses, we wouldn't be doing this segment.
No.
Yeah, we'd be like, oh man, Dingler's in a slump. We probably would mention that. We wouldn't be sitting here ripping into him.
No, but if Dingler went down swinging or popped out in some way, we would be talking about not only that at-bat, but we'd be talking about Kevin McGonigal's error, which didn't end up being costly, but it was just a sloppy baseball game yesterday. We'd be talking about Torkelson's, I don't know if I'd call it, it didn't go down as an error, but the Hal Yuli throw when they tried to turn a double play that just wasn't very
How about Framber
clean.
Valdez, once again, not having a clean first inning?
You know he has a 6.75 ERA in the first inning?
Yeah.
Well,
I said once again.
This is crazy. We'd be talking about all the different things that made the Tigers lose that game yesterday, but instead, we're almost forced to single it down to one single moment in the game because of how, look, I hate to just keep using the word atrocious, horrible. I don't know what else you want me to say about that at bat, though. The lack of effort from Dillon Dingler. He could have went up there with a broomstick, and it wouldn't have mattered because he never swung it. That cannot happen ever again from a guy that we're considering an MVP candidate and a guy that is potentially taking the crown from Riley Greene as the best bat on the team. A guy that, as I looked last, I haven't looked this morning, so maybe it's shifted back to Jordan. A guy that's supposed to lead the league in FWAR. You can't just take
straight up the best guy on the team.
Pitches. Correct. The best guy on the team. Shout out Kevin McGonigal. Riley, you've been consistent for 3 years. Well, he's been up and down, but overall has been good for 3 years. That can't happen from a guy we consider the best player on the team. 3 straight pitches, 1, 2, 3. Watches them all go by. You gotta start swinging at some point. 6-4. You're the game-winning run. Bottom of the 9th inning. I had flashbacks to the Miguel Cabrera at-bat in the World Series. Now, they were down 0-3, and they weren't going to come back and win that thing. But do you remember that? He was the last guy up, and he just kind of watched strikes go by, and it was like, yeah, this is over. That's what I had flashbacks of. And yes, one of them's a World Series, and one of them's a regular season game here in August. We're not even to September yet. But every Tigers fans understands what's at stake in this series. What's on the line this upcoming week, and specifically against Cleveland, how much it means to us and the Tigers themselves. Now, today becomes an absolute must-win game. I think it's the first must-win game of the season. They cannot afford to lose this game. If they lose this game and fall 2 games back below 500, or they'd be 3 games back below 500 if that's the case, and all of a sudden Cleveland starts to make up some ground, it's just going to be such a deflating moment in the season in which you built up all this momentum just to continue losing to Cleveland, because these two teams are neck and neck at all times when they're playing each other. You had an opportunity to go steal a win yesterday in the bottom of the 9th inning, and Dingler could not come through. And it's not the result of the at-bat, it's the process of the at-bat. 3 straight pitches, 1, 2, 3. Watched every single one of them go by. He could have went up there with a can of Pringles and it wouldn't have made a difference, Kyle. He could have went up there with no bat at all. This microphone, it wouldn't have mattered. And Cade Smith just dices him up. Look, I want to talk about Spencer Torkelson as well, because overall he's not having a great season, but there's a couple splits to look at right here that do make me think he is saving his job. I don't think that's an overstatement. I'll tell you why when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Minute. The show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Protect your home with Bresky Siding and Building Repair. The experts who do the job right the first time, whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, siding looking a little tired. Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come. Quick shout out to Iron Stack Technology. We talk about the game plans a lot on the show, the execution of it. Dillon Dingler, unable to execute last night. And that's exactly how Iron Stack approaches IT, not the lack of execution part. They do it. They help businesses stay secure, efficient, and ready for what's next so you can focus on your mission instead of your technology. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission-focused. You can check them out online at ironstacktechnology.com.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, let's get to a couple texts on this Dillon Dingler at bat that happened in the 9th inning, and then we'll move on to Spencer Torkelson, who I think is saving his job. David said he looked like a house on the side of the road. You're just watching strikes go by. Carl said 100% of people in this comment section know that they could not have hit any one of those 3 pitches. Yeah, that's not the point. We don't get paid millions of dollars to go play baseball.
Yeah, and you know who also didn't hit either one of those pitches? Dillon Dingler.
Correct.
That's like kind of the point we're making.
What was he doing? 3 fastballs. Did Vegas walk up to him and tell him not to swing? I didn't say it. Marty said those first 2 were close to being balls. That third one was way too close to take. 100% should have swung.
You can take the first 2.
You got to start.
You can't take the third one.
Like,
I mean, these guys, the third one was like a right down the middle type fastball.
Like, to watch
2
that
strikes.
at bat and then to watch the Max Clark at bat the previous inning where he got to like 9-10 pitches just battling. And Max Clark didn't even get on. But if that's the way that Dillon Dingler went down, just continuing to fight off foul balls, extending the at bat, I don't think any of us would be talking about it today. He didn't even come close to swinging, though. That's the problem. And by the way, Clark ended up striking out in that at bat that we're talking about. But he battled and battled and battled. Dingler did not.
Ran up the
Dingler
pitch
fell
count.
down.
Yeah.
He waved the white flag.
A couple other texts that we're getting as well. Dwayne says, let's pump the brakes on this being Dingler's fault. Framber Valdez is the one who lost the lead twice, constantly walking guys and too scared to pitch to guys when you're paid a lot.
Totally. Like, Framber Valdez does not go blameless in any of this as well, but Framber Valdez is not held to a higher standard than Dillon Dingler. Like, that's the thing, too. We got a text from Kim that says, come on, Dingler deserves a pass. He's been outstanding all year. Correct, which is why we have to start holding these guys to a higher standard. If Amon-Ra had 3 drops in a playoff game, we wouldn't say, nah, he never drops the ball. We wouldn't do that.
We did go at him when he started dropping passes last year.
Because we hold him to a higher standard. Yeah. John said he looked like a deer in the headlights. 100%.
Yeah.
Froze.
Sunset says, essentially, that whole game for the Tigers wasn't good, and that at-bat just felt like a cherry on top of a bad game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were just trying to claw their way back.
It was sloppy the entire time,
It
right
was.
from the jump. And Framber had a nice, 2-inning stretch in the second and third where it felt like ground ball after ground ball after ground ball and double play opportunity after another. And then there were some sloppy plays. McGonigal had a pretty egregious error where he just totally missed Spencer Torkelson. Hao-Yu Lee couldn't turn a double play. It wasn't a great defensive game at all. It was sloppy at bats. Wasn't great. I do wonder what the loss of Riley Greene means for this team. Just from a leader standpoint, is he doing a little bit more than we potentially realized? Tough to say right now, but we shall see. Not the right time to lose a guy who's made 3 straight All-Star teams and is your cleanup hitter almost every single day. Wrong time to lose him.
Shout out to Corey Julks, though.
Never heard of that guy until yesterday.
Good question from Kevin. He says, you can't put the whole game on Dingler, but you also can't excuse him for taking 3 straight fastballs. Both things can be true. Dillon, you've been good. Are you ready to be great?
Yeah. Ready to come up in the clutch moments? Ready for the bottom of the 9th in a night game in September? Yesterday told us the answer is no to that. There's enough time to change it. But tonight, it becomes a must-win game for the Tigers. Torkelson, he's not having a great year overall by any means, looking at the overall numbers for the season. Since the All-Star break, Torkelson is hitting .303 with an .838 OPS. Knocked in another double yesterday for 2 RBI early on in the game. Back-to-back days where he's had a 2 RBI double. He's .282 and an .820 OPS versus lefties this year. And get this, as someone who has never really been known as a clutch hitter, this season is hitting .319 with a .1029 OPS with runners in scoring position. That is 91 at-bats. He has been clutch this season for the Tigers. With Briseño crushing Double-A and getting up to Triple-A, he's officially on the doorstep. Now, there's a pretty good chance he just never plays for the Major League club this year, but if Torkelson was not playing the way that he was, and Briseño, had any sort of relative success, in AAA, we would be begging for a September call-up for Briseño. It just would be. He's here. He's at the highest level you can get to without getting to the major league level. He's there. And Briseño, we have been saying it for over a year. This is the guy who's going to replace Spencer Torkelson at first place, who I think is a mostly replaceable player at the end of the day. If he's going to keep playing like this, how he has post All-Star break, he's legitimately saving his job right now. And I'm not sure if it matters for spring training. I'm sure Briseño will have every opportunity to go win that first base job. But as of right now, just talking about this season, Spencer Torkelson has basically slammed the door shut for any conversations about Jose Briseño coming up and being the first baseman at any point this season, or Colt Keith being the first baseman, or anybody else being the first baseman other than Spencer Torkelson because of the way that he's playing right now. You know, he leads the Tigers in games played this year. He's been great.
Is that playing the most games makes you great?
No, it doesn't make you great. But those numbers I just read off, kind of hard to deny those at this point. Look, again, he's not had an incredible season overall, but he is hot right now, and he's defending off any threats that are going to cause him to be in a battle for that first base spot. He's played really good as of late, and I think that deserves a little bit of recognition. If we're going to slam Dillon Dingler, we got to give some credit where players deserve credit. And right now, Spencer Torkelson is playing better than anybody else on the team.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree, and he comes up clutch again yesterday with that double to after, the 2 runs are given up by Framber Valdez. Torkelson and the Tigers respond right away with him. So, yeah, he has stepped up for them in this spot, and maybe it is part of the Briseño thing. I mean, obviously a lot of these guys say, I stay off social media, this and that, but when you see a guy that clearly doesn't have a spot at catcher to play at the big league level going forward for Jose Briseño, you obviously think first base. When you see what he's doing in your organization, raking, it probably gets to him a little bit. You're going to put 2 and 2 together, and it shouldn't take that for Torkelson to step up. I assume he wants to play good, whether or not Jose Briseño exists or not, but I guess it helps the Tigers nonetheless for him to be performing this well.
At the end of the day, it probably doesn't matter. He's probably not the long-term fit on this team. But Torkelson's always going to be one of those weird guys to where as soon as you write him off and you're like, yeah, he's done, let's get him out of here, he's just going to heat up. He's done it over and over and over again the last couple of years. So it's going to truly take a ripping of the Band-Aid off to be like, he's not our guy anymore, because I don't think you can afford to have him around, but like not the everyday first baseman, because eventually he just will get hot the way that he is right now. But as of right now, the rest of the season, I don't think he has any sort of worry for not being the first baseman if they do make the playoffs.
Well, and it's just difficult because a guy like Torkelson, as much as we have, been concerned about him, he is a big leaguer. Like, it's not like if you did decide, okay, Jose Briseño is going to replace Torkelson. You just mentioned it. He leads the team in games played. He's not just going to be like this platoon sometimes plays. No, then you have to figure out what to do with him, and you probably are dealing him away. And
you just don't really want a platoon first baseman in general either.
Yeah.
You want the same guy there.
But it just becomes a weird, like, okay, now what do we do with this guy then? Since Spencer Torkelson is, he's not going to be an everyday player, but he has been his whole career. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah. He's not a bust, I don't think, at 1.01. He's not a superstar, obviously. But if the Tigers moved on from him, somebody else would pick him up.
You're right. In baseball terms, he's not a bust. I think, like, in first overall pick terms, he probably is.
Sure.
But for baseball, there's much worse first overall picks.
Yeah. He'll be a big leaguer for a while. Is he usually like a bottom third first baseman in baseball, though? Yeah, that's kind of where, like, 20th on a really great year, a top half first baseman. That's probably just who Spencer Torkelson is, which is why I've always made the case he's a replaceable player. I mean, he's playing. Look, he's coming up clutch when there's runners in scoring position.
Yeah,
and that's really all that matters in August and September and October, if you're going to be in the lineup every single day.
I was interested because Torkelson. One thing that this is just like it feels like this with him for mainly his entire Tigers career, but obviously this year as well. Yes, he's been clutch with runners in scoring position, but it always feels like late in the game is when he really doesn't come through.
Looking at that late close split.
So I'm just looking at inning by inning. His OPS just goes down. Like, he has an 841 OPS in the first inning this year, 809 OPS in the second inning, and it just goes down and down and down and down. Randomly in the 8th inning, he's got a 949 OPS. It's very limited sample, and then he's terrible in the 9th inning. I just thought that was funny. But, like, yeah, innings 7 through 9 are about the same as innings through 4 through 6. He's just really good at the beginning of games.
Kind of the opposite of Fromber, who just, like, if he doesn't get in a rhythm in the first 2 batters, something just spirals for him. He needs to mow a couple guys down early to, like, truly have one of his best games. I don't know what it is about his first inning, what his preparation's like.
Yeah,
but
he needs to, like, get the first guy
there.
out. Which I saw one of the Tigers beat guys yesterday said that he, like, consistently all year is, like, late to his first pitch.
Yeah, he was late yesterday.
Yeah.
Benetti was like, well, we may as well go through the wind report right now. And they went through, like, the tracker of how the wind was blowing. Because Fromber's not even out of the pen. I was like, what?
That's, like, something apparently he's been, like, all year. Maybe,
What
like,
was
if
one
you
of the
showed
things I
up
hated on Tuesday.
when people are late, yeah.
People are late. Don't be late, Fromber Valdez. Maybe that's why you've been
pretty
pitching bad.
good.
When summers in Michigan, they can be pretty hot. August, one of the hotter months of the year. And the last thing you want is for your AC unit to quit on you when it is scorching outside. That's where Answer Heating and Cooling comes in. They get your furnace and AC units running efficiently so your home can stay cozy no matter what season it is. So you don't end up 10 fans on during the game tonight. Fast, professional, and reliable. That's Answer Heating and Cooling, keeping Midland homes cozy all year long.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, 9:30. You know what that means. Kyle Sandals step up to the plate. Hopefully you don't take 3 pitches here. Swing at least once. It's time for the mid-morning catch.
The Mit's Morning Catch.
It's a shame the Tigers don't have Melton or Job against Cleveland. Not once. Oh, he's taking his pitches.
Oh, sorry. I was doing my Dillon Dingler impression.
It's like,
sorry.
is he going to go?
I was just freezing in the moment, you know. All right, the mid-morning catch. Let's take a look at the community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. We've got a ton going on at Dow Diamond Thursday through Sunday, the final 4 games of this homestand this week. 80s night tonight. It's Grit night tomorrow. It's Wrestle Loon Mania Saturday. It's Peanuts Day and Louis Loon's birthday Sunday. There's so much more going on, too, that I could all add in there. So come out to the Loons either tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, all of them. Some of them, just come out. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, Mick Foley's going to be here on Saturday. We got some cool Lions merch to give out tomorrow. Signed JMO helmet, a Hutchinson bobblehead, a framed golf thing.
Jedi Mind Trip is playing tonight at the ballpark as well, so that's a pretty big draw. So, yeah, if you need something to do over the next 4 days, we got a ton of stuff going on right here at Dow Diamond. First pitch, 7:05 tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, 1:05 on Sunday.
No, what else is it? 7:05 tonight. 7 o'clock tonight.
Lions, right? 7:10?
I think it's 7.
Yeah. Lions Bengals preseason tonight. There we go.
You know what I was thinking about? I was thinking about how the Tigers games, like, they'll start at 6:40 and then they'll end, and I feel like, oh, it's like late. It's like time to go to bed. We just got to get used to football games starting at like 8:20 and not finishing until 11:30. Like, pretty soon. Those games start so late.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the times I won't stay up for them. Unless it's a good game, you know?
Come on, it just usually is.
I mean, I usually do. Sunday Night Football, I usually always do. Monday Night Football is the one where, like, as long as I don't have any fantasy implications.
Kyle, you say that now.
No, I
You're
always
stay up for like
I always
95%
do.
of these games.
I'm trying to think of any of them that I don't, because Thursday night I usually always do.
It's
like
football.
it's Thursday night. It's like the start of the week, you know?
No, because you're gonna look like Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar, banging on the window yourself 6 months from now, like, go watch the football game. Go watch the Saints and the Panthers. You have to. You have to.
I know. That's very true. As far as all of the other preseason games tonight, as mentioned, Lions-Bengals is going on. The one that you can watch on regular TV, Packers-Steelers, is on NFL Network at 7. Aaron Rodgers was all upset that this game was in Pittsburgh, by the way. I don't know if you saw this story.
Aaron Rodgers was upset?
Yeah, I know, right?
God.
Crazy. Yeah, first time ever. He said when he heard that they were playing the Packers in the preseason, he had hoped it would be at Lambeau so that he could get a final send-off. So he says...
Oh, dude, they would boo you out of there.
Well, no, he says he needs to get some sort of, like, special send-off at Lambeau Field. He doesn't know how it's going to happen. He's like, it has to happen.
Bro.
I don't know what that means necessarily.
You don't get...
They don't play them.
And also, God, he's so self-centered. To be like, I need to go get some send-off from the team I used to play for. Dude, I don't even think they like you that
Also,
much
like,
anymore.
4 years ago at this point. Like, it's kind of been a good amount of time. Did win them a Super Bowl. Obviously, like, a legendary quarterback. I'm not going to take that away from him. But
I hate him. He sucks.
Okay, yep, so do I. 7:30, Colts-Patriots. At 8 o'clock, it's Cardinals-Raiders. Also Chargers-Texans at 8. And then also on NFL Network at 9, Titans-49ers. And the rest of your games are tomorrow and Saturday.
Yeah, coming up for Around the League at 10:30, we're going to do the best storylines for this weekend's preseason games. Not that we're expecting anyone to lock into them, but just like monitor.
Oh, I'm locking in.
Just something to monitor over the weekend. If you've really got the football itch.
We all have the football itch. I think we're all at that point. Speaking of football, Darren Waller signing a 1-year deal with the Carolina Panthers yesterday. Man, Darren Waller's just been kind of lagging around. Had a decent season with Miami. Was that last year or the year before?
It was last year.
Yeah, last year. Like, once he was on Miami, he actually had a pretty decent year. And now he's headed to the Panthers, who have a weird tight end room at this point. I don't know if he's going to make the roster or not, but very interesting stuff. Darren Waller, of course, once an elite tight end, is kind of faded off. Is certainly faded off, but still hanging around. Now he's with Carolina.
Njoku's with the Panthers too, isn't he?
Yeah, that's who they signed. Yeah, I was trying to think of who they signed.
But I just pulled up their depth chart, and
they got Tommy
reason,
Tremble too.
Yeah, but Waller's listed as the starter. Is Njoku on IL? No, I don't.
Maybe he didn't go there.
No, I'm like almost.
I thought he did. I was thinking the same thing.
David Njoku is.
He's on the Chargers.
Oh.
Njoku's on the Chargers. Is
I
that
thought
like
he was on the
low-key a good
Panthers.
pickup?
Yeah, I think so.
I like it.
They upgrade Conklin for Njoku.
EBG, Darren Waller did irreparable damage to my fantasy team a couple years ago. Yeah.
Well, when he just like quit halfway through the season.
Yeah, probably. He was at once one of those tight ends that were taken extremely high in fantasy drafts. Never have been the take the tight end super high guy.
I'm a wait until the last second possible to take a tight end. Now, I don't want like a true nobody as my tight end. But
I'll always just try to trade for one, I think, during the
Yeah.
season. That's kind of always my goal.
Like I've got Laporta in 2 of my dynasties, and I'll just never trade him. Not for sale.
Yeah.
Not looking to upgrade. It's
I got
just not
Loveland
something I have to think
in my
about.
main dynasty. I'm just gonna have him now as my tight end for quite some time.
Once you find one, you don't really need to. It's better to just have someone that you don't have to think about starting or not.
I took Bowers early last year. It was like the first time I took an early tight end in a redraft.
How'd you do in that league?
I mean, I was fine, but I didn't win. Yeah, and Bowers obviously got injured and wasn't crazy last year. Okay, other stuff going on in the news. As far as preseason stuff, Deshaun Watson getting the starting quarterback for the preseason opener for the Cleveland Browns.
Last quarterback battle. It's the last team. We don't know who the starter is.
Yeah, that's true because J.J. McCarthy did not win the quarterback job for the Minnesota Vikings. Kyler Murray, of course, named the starter yesterday. But McCarthy, speaking for the first time, says he wants to stay with the Vikings after losing the quarterback job. Okay, it's not like you had a choice. And then he says the decision is out of his control. And he still wants to stick it out in Minnesota.
What a good guy.
Yeah. Oh, the team that I'm under contract for, I want to stay with them. Genius.
Hey, Anthony Richardson didn't go that route, yet he's still with that team.
True. That's a good point. I think the Colts kind of were like, oh, yeah, we'll also trade you. You want to get traded? For sure.
I don't think a single team would call the Colts. It was like, hey, what's Anthony Richardson going to cost?
I just wonder who has more trade value. Like, who would a team rather go trade for, Richardson or McCarthy?
I think it's JJ.
You think so? Richardson has shown more. He for sure has. Like, that's not saying that he's been good. Like, neither of them have. But Richardson has, like, a couple of the flashes that are like, man, we could maybe do something here.
Yeah, I think Richardson's one of those guys, though, unless he like just gets under the Shanahan tree or like gets to be a backup in one of those systems for a while, where he's just always going to try to do too much. Like, he wants to take over the game.
You can't. Every pass you throw can't be 25 yards down the field.
Correct.
We need to throw some 5-yard, but we need to get a little Bo Nix in there.
And sometimes you have to stay in the pocket. You're not allowed to escape every time.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if anything happens with McCarthy, but he says he is cool with staying in Minnesota, so I would assume that's where he will remain this year. J.J. McCarthy, games played this year, over 1.5. Or like over under 1.5. I would say 0.5, but I feel like he'll get into one game.
Well, Kyler Murray hasn't necessarily stayed healthy.
Right.
I would take the over there. That's also assuming he's the second string.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I feel like they signed a vet QB to join their room as well.
Yeah, Kyler last 4 years is 5 games, 17 games, 8 games, 11 games.
Yikes! So one full season.
Yeah, so I'll take the over on JJ, but like,
I just don't know if he's going to be the
Wentz
backup.
Wentz might just be.
Is Wentz the other guy there? Yeah.
Yeah,
Wentz probably just is the backup. But then you're carrying 3 quarterbacks. Like,
I think they probably will.
interesting stuff. We'll close the news with another football story, and it's Ben Johnson related. This is pretty good. Ben Johnson speaking with The Athletic yesterday. I'm sure you saw this, Ben.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Johnson on his goals aside from winning a Super Bowl, because of course that's everyone's number one goal. He says, quote, "I want to have the highest scoring offense ever. I know how many points per game they scored." 37.9, by the way, for the Broncos in 2013. "And I want to surpass them. I want shutouts. I want blowouts."
I want 6,000 people in our YouTube chat today. That's what I want. No, you know what? Screw it. I want the most ever people to be in a live stream. I want that to be our YouTube today.
And then I want the reel after the show to hit a milli in 10 minutes.
A milli.
I just love how he says, "I know how many points per game they scored." All right.
Okay.
Why? Why do you know that? Do you know the score of the Lions game last year? Do you know that one?
You know,
You want blowouts, you said, right? Remember week 2?
I obviously remember the 2013 Denver Broncos. I had Peyton Manning.
That was
in
the Peyton
fantasy
Manning
that year.
7-touchdown game, like opening game of the year, right?
Yeah, I drafted
That was so sick.
Peyton Manning that year in fantasy, and it felt like a cheat code. I remember all of that. Yet I hear 37 points per game. I'm like, that can't be real. That's got to be an error, right? Nope, it was not.
It was just awesome.
989-837-6125. I'll tell you what you need to look for in Lions in Lions preseason game number 1 when we come back. See the difference at Midland Eye Care, where your vision is their focus, offering comprehensive eye exams, glasses, contacts, and advanced eye health services. Friendly, knowledgeable staff and a wide selection of stylish frames for every face and budget. Book your appointment today and start seeing clearer tomorrow at Midland Eye Care.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, here's what you need to know going into preseason game number 1. It's tonight. It's against the Bengals. Depending on where you live in this great state that has some visitors, depends on what channel it's on. But you can also watch it on NFL Plus. I have 3 things to watch for tonight while you're watching the Lions. Does the final score matter for preseason, Kyle? No. Absolutely not. Does it matter how many yards they put up? No, absolutely not. There's really only 3 things that you should care about going into this game, I've decided. And the first of which is Blake Miller. I went back and looked last year at how many snaps Tate Ratledge played in preseason. He only played in 1 game. And that 1 game, he played 24 snaps. 24. That's it. So, assuming that Blake Miller gets something similar, which is going to come out to about 2 drives, 3 drives, maybe the first quarter, I imagine. All I am watching for the first quarter on offense is him. That's the only thing. I am not watching the quarterback. I'm not watching Jabari Small play running back. All I'm watching is Blake Miller. And what I'm hoping to see is absolutely nothing. I want to see no impact. It's kind of impossible for an offensive lineman in this situation to have a good game. He just can't have a bad game. That's all I care about. The person he locks up with and lines up against every snap for the first quarter, just have no impact on the actual game. And if that's the case, and if I end up watching a boring first quarter for what my eyes are actually on, that is a huge thumbs up for Blake Miller. So that's the first thing that I'm watching. If I know he's only going to play first quarter, I can commit to only watching him for 1 quarter. Because on offense, considering no other starters are going to be playing, I don't think anything else really matters. Blake Miller, my number 1 person. Number 2, the Ennis Rakestraw-Nick Whiteside battle in the secondary. I'm not actually sure there's room for both of these guys on the roster. And to give up on Ennis Rakestraw this quickly after being a second-round pick 2-3 drafts ago at this point, yeah, that would not be a good look. But he has had some ups and downs in camp. Meanwhile, Nick Whiteside, who is famous for how great he played in that Legion of Whom game against Tampa Bay last year, has just dominated camp in a lot of different ways, and Dan Campbell said nothing but high praise for him. I'm not sure there's room for both of these guys on the roster, so I am intrigued to see which of those guys starts today, which of those guys ends up with more playing time, which of them makes an additional play that's going to secure them more security with a spot on this roster. So I'm looking for Rakestraw, I'm looking for Whiteside on defense, and then the last thing I'm looking for is Boise State 6th-round pick from a year ago, Ahmed Hasneem. Lions fans fell head over heels in love with this guy when they got drafted. This is the same guy who told Dan Campbell he would die for him when they called him on draft day. Hadn't even met him yet, but told him he would die for him. And the crazy thing is, I believe him. I actually believe that he would die for Dan Campbell. Just a couple days ago at practice, threw up in the end zone before, this is while fans were there, threw up in the end zone before, like, basically doing the J.J. Watt and screaming afterwards, which got the entire crowd riled up. He's not from Egypt. I think he actually is from Egypt. He's an Egyptian player, one of the first guys ever from there to play in the NFL or get drafted. I don't think there's a 0% chance that he's not related to Dan Campbell in some way. There's like a non-zero chance that they're related because they are the exact same person. He has changed positions to where now he's playing this big end role rather than being a true edge rusher. So it's basically the Levi Wunzurike role. Yeah, you're kind of setting the edge. You're kind of getting after the quarterback, but sometimes you're a defensive tackle. It's like this hybrid spot that the Lions really like. And he's moved to there and has dominated camp to the point where he's on second team. So I'm very intrigued on watching him tonight as well. Those are the 3 battles or players that I'm looking for. You know what I did not name? The quarterback battle. I don't care if it's Luke Altmaier. I don't care if it's Joshua Dobbs. It doesn't matter. You'll know the result of the game. You will see how well they play. You don't need to focus in on those 2 players specifically, whoever's playing quarterback. And also, if Jared Goff gets hurt at any point, it doesn't matter how good these guys are. The Lions are probably cooked. So those are my what to watch during preseason game number 1 tonight, Kyle.
Have they announced who the starting quarterback is, by the way? I don't
I
believe
assume
so,
it's
right?
Altmaier.
I would guess it'd be kind of early for Dobbs to get that spot. Yeah, I would say probably this corner battle or whatever is probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most, especially in the fact that guess who's going to be out there for the Bengals tonight in the first quarter? Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Oh. All right, Ennis Rakestraw. Let's see what you can really do lined up in the slot with Chase. That's going to be pretty interesting to see. I still think I would just be surprised if you said like one of these guys might not make the roster. The fact that they could potentially cut Rakestraw while Terrion Arnold has already been cut, that was already going to be they might cut Rakestraw before the Arnold stuff even went down. Now that he's been cut, imagine the first and second round picks of the draft 2 years ago being cut already.
And Giovanni Manu
and they play the
for
same
sure
position.
getting cut as well.
Yeah, I know that we harp on it all the time about how terrible that class is looking to be, but wow, that would be like the full nail in the coffin of how bad it is.
Yeah, it's funny because those first 2 picks there's a world where neither of them are on the team. Obviously, Arnold won't be. Ennis Rakestraw could not be on the team depending on how the last stages of camp go. Giovanni Manu was their 3rd pick. He's for sure cut because he's a total liar about his injury. Sione Vaki just continues to be hurt all the time. Freak accident with the broken nose and got poked in the eye, but is hurt right now. Mekhi Wingo, I'm not even sure he's still on the team. I think he is. And then Christian Mahogany's the lone. Yeah, this guy's just a contributor for this roster. 2024 draft class, man. It's really tough. Are you willing to commit to watching just Blake Miller in the first quarter?
Yeah, I mean, I probably was going to do that anyways.
Yeah.
But you're right in the fact that if we actually see anything, maybe it's better to not watch him, and then if you do notice, oh, God.
Yeah, if a replay pops
Josh
up.
Dobbs just got sacked from the right side of the line.
Yeah.
Yikes.
There's not a lot of, there's not a ton he could do tonight where it's oh, wow, look at the great game that Blake Miller had.
Yeah.
That doesn't really exist. It's only a bad game can happen. And if he gets through the first quarter and it's hey, nothing happened with Blake Miller, then awesome. Had a great game then. Yeah. I think Hasnim might be the player I'm the most intrigued by seeing.
It's pretty fun.
Just because we didn't get to see anything from him last year because he spent the entire season injured. I don't even think he played.
And he was really
preseason.
talked up before getting injured. Everybody was pretty hyped up about him, that he could make a true impact. So, yeah, I'm excited about that as well.
All right. We'll recircle and revisit that a little bit later on in the show. 989-837-6125. Coming up in the 10 o'clock hour, which injury is more impactful? Cade Mays or Riley Greene? We'll debate that to open up the hour. Can the Tigers survive without Riley Greene is a conversation we will get to. We'll go around the league, and then, of course, we will circle back to the Dillon at-bat, the infamous at-bat, unfortunately. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt, 10 o'clock hour, on the way when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Lazy Electric Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mid. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, welcome back into the show, everybody. 10 o'clock hour is brought to you by Aired Insurance. We've got a couple of big-time injuries going on right now for our Detroit teams. Obviously, Riley Greene hits IL yesterday. He hits the 10-day IL with a hamstring injury. I'm praying that this is only 10 days, but usually these hamstring injuries tend to be a little bit longer than that. If they thought he was going to be out a true 2 weeks, I think they would have put him on the 15-day. So maybe they're just being precautionary with, hey, we'll put him on the 10-day, and then we're just going to be extra cautious about this. But these upcoming, this is the worst time for Riley Greene to actually be missing any sort of time, When it comes to Riley Greene, next 10 days, that puts him out through this Cleveland series, through Chicago over the weekend. Then you play Pittsburgh and Kansas City, so not amazing opponents. But then you play right after that to close the season, or to close the month, Tampa Bay and the Dodgers. And then if he's still not back, you opened up September with Minnesota and Cleveland. This could not have come at a more unfortunate time for Riley Greene to miss some time. And he's been able to stay healthy all year. That's kind of the unfortunate part about all of this, is he's been able to stay healthy, and all of a sudden this narrative that he can't.
Yeah, first trip to the injured list, right?
Yeah, it's starting to creep back. The Tigers are 46-50 without him since 2023. He's only missed 3 games, including yesterday, up to this point. Career high OPS, career high walk rate. He's in that cleanup spot almost every day at this point. Now it's Hao-Yu Lee, who has 6 bombs this year. It's not like he brings no power to the table, but that's asking a lot of a rookie. That's asking a lot to be an everyday cleanup guy. And I don't think he'll be an everyday cleanup guy, but to not really have someone to be that spot it's not great.
Yeah.
It's a very
and
big
without
hole in
Kerry
the lineup.
Carpenter, I know his numbers aren't great this year, but him just not being healthy either makes it even worse.
Yeah, two sluggers you're missing from the lineup right now at the very worst time. I don't know. Maybe Riley Greene yesterday makes a big-time difference in the game. Who knows? But to not have him is quite unfortunate. And then the other injury is Cade Mays, who the Lions gave $25 million this offseason to play center for him. 3-year deal, the only multi-year contract that the Lions handed out. They obviously wanted to invest in their offensive line, make sure it was as good as it could be following an awful season from Graham Glasgow. They made that investment. They drafted a first-round pick on Blake Miller. Which injury is going to impact the team more? Is it Cade Mays, who's probably going to miss the first 4 games of the season, if not more? Or is it Riley Greene, who's going to miss at least the next 10 days, probably more? I think the answer is fairly obvious. I think it's Riley Greene. This is the most important stretch of baseball that the Tigers are going to be playing this year, to not have your everyday cleanup hitter, guy who can hit bombs. Yes, I know his clutch numbers have not been great as of late. His numbers against Cleveland have not been good. To still be missing that player is, we'll see if it ends up being pretty detrimental. Again, the last 3 seasons, they're 46-50 without him, so they've been a below 500 team. Whereas Cade Mays, I look at the defenses that they're playing for those first few weeks. New Orleans, Buffalo, who just doesn't have a good defense. The Jets, Carolina, Arizona, that's their first 5 opponents. Maybe this is just naive thinking, but I don't actually think Cade Mays not being there will impact one of those games one way or another. Like, the Lions are likely going to be 7-point favorites over the Saints, the Jets, and the Cardinals. And then maybe 6-point favorites against Carolina, and the Buffalo game will be favored by Buffalo. So I don't know. Maybe that's naive thinking of me, but I think the Riley Greene one is way more impactful, especially considering what the Tigers are up against right now.
Yeah, but I think it's only more impactful because the Tigers are playing right now, right? Like that seems to be the only reason why you think that way. Like, Cade Mays is going to miss 5 to 6 games.
It's a lot.
That's
a
almost
third of the
half
season.
the season. Yeah, like Riley Greene is missing maybe like 10 games max.
Oh, I don't know if I would max that out. These hamstring things, I never know what they're going to do.
but they
Because a
seem
lot
like
of the times, a 10-day IL, and you can end up there for 3 weeks.
Yeah, you're right. But it also feels like that they made this a last-second decision. Like, the way that all this was reported on by the beat reporters yesterday was like, they have Corey Julks here just in case. They don't really know if they want to put Riley on the injured list yet. They're going to call it at the last second. To me, that thinks they almost didn't, and that he would come back in sooner than 10 days.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously this could last a little bit longer, but as far as, like, missing percentage of the season, Cade Mays is going to miss much more of the Lions season than Riley Greene is going to miss from the Tigers season right now. And so...
But to counter that, critical stretch for the Tigers. Where, I mean, I guess every stretch for the Lions is kind of critical considering there's only 17 games.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm saying.
We can look at the schedule, obviously, and say, like, oh, it's an easy schedule. They can survive without Cade Mays until they can't, like, until it happens, until it is a random guy playing center, and we're like, oh, my God, this is just like Graham Glasgow last year.
Mm-hmm.
We need Cade Mays to get healthy ASAP. So just from an impacting the game standpoint, I think that the Tigers could survive without Riley Greene, like, much easier than the Lions can survive without Cade Mays.
Well, they're 0 for 1 without him so far. If he played last night again, who knows how this thing's going to go.
We know how he was playing in the West Coast trip, right? Like, it's not like
bad.
It's not like he's been playing good baseball. And guess what? The Tigers were winning a ton of games.
That's the other thing too. Riley Greene could not play, and it's kind of hard to see, like, oh, they do or don't have his impact. It's a little bit harder to measure. Whereas if Cade Mays is out and they're getting pressure from up the middle, which is the worst spot to get pressure from as a quarterback, it's pretty easy to be like, yeah, that's because Cade Mays is not playing.
Right.
If Riley's not playing, you don't necessarily feel the impact until he's back.
Yeah, he could just still be playing and not be playing good.
Correct. Whereas there's a little, like, he's consistently played well enough throughout the course of 162 to be an all-star, so there's that.
Yeah.
So when I say he's inconsistent, I don't mean on a year-to-year basis, but like on a month-to-month basis, on a week-to-week basis, Riley Greene is inconsistent. And yeah, you're right. Maybe Riley Greene's this 10-game stretch would have been a bad Riley Greene stretch, but maybe it could have been one of his best stretches when he has like a 930 OPS and he's just mashing everybody. That's something the Tigers desperately need right now. Could have made a difference yesterday. Not going to be able to make a difference tonight or against the White Sox this weekend. The only reason I say Riley Greene is because of the opponents that Cade Mays is projected to miss and the opponents that Riley Greene is projected to miss.
And the Lions, like, we just expect them to do good in that stretch, whereas the Tigers, not that saying we don't have high expectations for them, but we kind of need them to do good. Rather
to rip one of your best 3 bats away during that stretch where you need to be good. That's about as worst timing as possible.
I do think there is a difference between which injury is more impactful and, like, who is easier to survive without. Because I do think that it is just easier for the Tigers to survive without Riley Greene rather than the Lions without Cade Mays. It doesn't make it less impactful, though. Like, just based off of the point that the Tigers are at in their season, them being in this intense wild card and divisional race right now, and your 3-time All-Star goes out, that is an extremely impactful injury. But I think it's a lot easier to survive without a baseball player in your lineup than the center of the football team.
Mm-hmm.
Like Corey Julks, Zach McKinstry, James Outman, a collection of those guys, they could just have like a decent 2-week stretch. And it'd be like, oh, okay, it really wasn't that big of a deal. I'm not saying we're relying on that.
It could be horrendous in the bottom of the lineup. Ends up looking like it has
100%
in the past couple months of the season prior to everybody being healthy and Baez and McKinstry and Clark really sparking that bottom of the lineup. Now, all those guys end up basically getting moved up a spot, and all of a sudden, who knows who's in the 9-hole every day. It is Ben Malgiri type of players, unfortunately. No disrespect to him.
That was another one I forgot about. Yeah, who was batting in the 6th hole yesterday.
Yeah, it's like the Riley impact, it's felt through every spot in the lineup rather than just like, who's playing cleanup now. When Ben Malgiri's in your 6th spot, something clearly went wrong.
But it is a lot easier for other guys to step up. Like Riley Greene being out, it could just mean like, okay, Dingler he needs to get hot. Torkelson's got to keep this
swing
going.
The bat?
Max Clark can continue to have a good stretch of his start of his career. Like the guys who you expect to step up can just do that. Whereas for Cade Mays and the Lions, there is no like, if the center goes out, okay, that means the right guard and the left guard can step up and they'll be fine. Not really. The direct replacement to Cade Mays has to be good.
Correct.
Whereas the direct replacement to Riley Greene doesn't necessarily have to be awesome for them to still be fine.
Joe texting in saying, neither injury matters because both teams are mid and never going to win anything. No, what a great spirit. Yeah, thank you so much for that, Joe. I bet you are so happy every day that goes by.
I would love to go hang out with you.
989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on the Mitt. Like I said, the 10 o'clock hour is brought to you by Aired Insurance. Aired Insurance, they're all about putting you in the best insurance position. Whether it's your home, auto, life, or business coverage, they make sure your protection actually fits your life. If you're looking for a team that takes the guesswork out of insurance, this is it. Be sure to go follow Aired Insurance Group on social media to stay connected every single day and see how they're helping people along the way. Can the Tigers survive without Riley Greene? Can the Lions survive without Cade Mays? We'll get to some more Mint messages when we come back here on the Ben Bosscher Show. The show, like I said, brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. But your dream lawn, Cervinsky Sod can quite literally roll that out. Top quality sod that turns patchy yards into backyard showstoppers. They've been doing it for over 50 years, which means they're experts. Whether you're fixing a rough spot or redoing your entire yard, Cervinsky delivers lush, green perfection. Fast, friendly, and farm fresh because your grass should be greener right now. They'll settle for a bland yard, increase the value of your home, and get the lawn your neighbors will envy with Cervinsky Sod.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid. Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
(989-837-6125). Can the Tigers survive without Riley Greene? Well, we're going to find out real quickly. Look, I think this injury is a little bit more concerning than maybe we're making it out to be, because you're right, Kyle. It's pretty easy to be like, well, there's a bunch of different guys that can fill in for Riley Greene here. You got the collection of Malgeri and Outman and McKinstry, and all these guys can step up at any given time. I just think there's four guys that clearly levitate above everybody else in the lineup between McGonigal, Glaber, Torres, and Riley. And to lose one of those guys, let alone the guy who's in a cleanup spot almost every day, and now all of a sudden you're asking Torkelson or Hao-Yu Lee or whoever else to be in that cleanup spot, probably somebody different every day. Colt Keith is probably going to get in the mix as well. I just think that's where you get into oh man, this Tigers lineup it's back to being pretty average if there's only three guys that you can really count on a day-to-day basis that you think are going to show up. And even yesterday, Dillon Dingler did not show up. That's where I get a little bit concerned, to where, yeah, there's a bunch of guys that can try to fill the Riley Greene shoes, but to have an everyday cleanup hitter to where you don't really have to think about how the roster is going to be constructed, it's usually built around Riley Greene in that spot, all of a sudden takes a tremendous amount more work from A.J. Hinch. Everybody's got to step up in a little bit of way. You're asking different players to do different things on different days, depending on who else is on the mound and what happened yesterday. And then all of a sudden it becomes a little bit of lineup by chaos rather than, well, we have four guys at the top every single day. Now you only have three. And I have a feeling that Dingler's going to see a little bit of that four hole. So then who's playing in the three spot? You know, all of a sudden it does just get a little bit dicey, and a lot of questions arise about not necessarily who's playing left field, but how the lineup is constructed. That's where I get a little bit concerned, to where you get through those first three guys and it's like, cool, we don't have all that much to worry about for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's understandable, but I just, to think that they can't survive without Riley Greene, what does that even mean? They're just going to lose every game? Well,
they just start slipping again. You know, it doesn't mean they lose every game, but I think surviving without Riley Greene, you know, are you going to be all that shocked if the Tigers basically are like 4-6 over the next 10 games? I think that's on the table.
He was terrible on the West Coast trip, and they went 7-2.
It's a good counter.
I think it's pretty easy to survive without a guy for 10 games or for 15, 20 games, whatever it's going to be. Obviously, it's an important stretch of the season, so I get that part of it. But, it's baseball. Random stuff happens. Corey Julks could just be fine.
I was so convinced he was going to hit a home run yesterday. I was very much.
It's happened a lot this year.
I know, whether it's who Eduardo Valencia's done it, Outman and Gageman both did it, or just one of them?
Yeah, I think all three of them did, yeah.
Yeah, it's I thought he was going to. I never heard of Julks until yesterday. I was like, who is this guy? I don't know. He's kind of got some swag to him. We'll see what ends up happening. Maybe he just hits 120 and we get sick of him in the matter of 10 days. I just really hope this hamstring injury, and you're right, the way that they made it seem like this is a very mild hamstring tweak. They just pulled him out of the game for precautionary reasons, because the hamstring is one of the touchy things that if you come back at 90%, it's just never going to get back to 100, and then you're at risk of hurting it again. But I hope this is on the precautionary side, and he's only out 10 to 12 days. Anything more than that starts to get really worrisome about when Riley Greene's coming back, what's going on with his hamstring. Is he going to be 100% when he comes back? This is, I don't want to call it the most impactful injury of the season, because there was a month stretch where everyone got hurt, and Skubal got hurt at one point. And if there was one guy who could not get hurt, Riley Greene would be one of the first three choices right now. So to be missing out on this guy in a series in which you don't have Job or Melton going either, yeah, that's where you start to really get uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, and he was the number one heat up guy too that we chose.
Yeah. And so far the number one heat up guy has been Spencer Torkelson. Back-to-back days with an RBI double in the mix. He's your lead candidate for that right now. But yeah, you're right. You and I both agreed that the number one person that needed to show up during this series was Riley Greene. Okay, they're not getting that guy at all.
He's not even going to be there.
What does that mean for the Tigers? It means You probably need two different guys to heat up right now. All right, Torkelson has been one of those guys. Somebody else has got to step up, whether it's Javi or Clark or McGonigal or Dingler. Maybe he'll decide to bring a bat to the box one of these at-bats because he's 1 for 21 in his last 21 ABs. It's just they're going to need two different guys to step up in place of Riley Greene. And I don't think it's a 1-for-1, who's playing left field. Somebody's going to have to bring some power in the middle of the lineup because right now they don't have that.
Yeah, and I think it's less of them being without Riley Greene and more of those other factors. Like Dillon Dingler being 1 for 21, it doesn't matter if Riley Greene is in or out of the lineup. You know, that's just not going to cut it. And from a guy who we talked about the stat going into the Cleveland series, his numbers when the Tigers win are ungodly. And when the Tigers lose, they are terrible. Like, he is the number one reason when the Tigers win or lose games. Okay, how did Dillon Dingler perform? Because it really does replicate wins and losses. And yesterday was the best example of it yet. You know, a terrible game from Dillon Dingler, and they lose. And he had a chance for them to win it, and it obviously didn't happen. And so guys like that are going to be the guys that need to step up. It really isn't. I mean, like the Corey Julks and the Ben Malzieris, it's not on them. It's on the guys that are still the core pieces of this lineup that need to make up for what Riley Greene does.
Yeah, it's on Colt Keith. It's on Spencer Torkelson. I don't know if Baez still fits into that group. I think it's really just those two guys, right? And then Hao Yuli, any sort of spark from him would go a really long way.
Yeah, but he fits into the other group of guys. He fits into the Max Clark, Eduardo Valencia kind of group of guys of, yeah, you're going to be in the lineup probably every day. That doesn't necessarily mean we're expecting you to be the reason that they come back from this Riley Greene injury.
Yeah, but if you were able to kind of heat up right now, that would go a really long way.
Yeah.
I honestly think the number one person who's in step-up territory, and he's done a good job with the one game without him, is Spencer Torkelson. Like, hey, man, you've had a great second half of the season. You're hitting .303 and .838 OPS since the break. That's awesome. That needs to keep up as long as Riley Greene is out. And if that's the case, Torkelson's got a chance to really make up for a season in which he has struggled for the most part, to be quite honest. Other than the home runs, it's just been a very bland season from Spencer Torkelson. If he can really step up and hit some clutch situations, which he has all year long, .319 average with runners in scoring position, if he can continue to play like that and come up big in these moments when people are on base, that's probably the best one-for-one replacement in terms of what you're getting from Riley Greene's bat. It's what Torkelson can do over the next 10 days or so. That would be my one-for-one guy. So we'll see what happens. And then just to compare it to the Cade Mays injury, Mays is going to be out. The original was 8 to 10 weeks, right? So that puts him around the bye. Maybe he comes back before. I would just guess he comes back after the bye. Luckily for the Lions, they don't play all that much guys with some true elite, tackle depth. Maybe the Lions see a bunch more defensive tackle depth. Maybe the Lions see a bunch more like blitzing up the middle just to kind of rattle some inexperienced centers up front. That's totally on the table, but I'm not all that scared of the Jets front seven. I'm not all that scared of the Saints front seven. The Cardinals have Walter Nolan, which he's kind of a wild card on the season, and then Derek Brown, kind of a nasty D tackle for the Panthers. So it's going to be a tough stretch without Cade Mays. I still ultimately, gun to my head right now, would have them at 4-1 going into the bye, though. That's why I think the Riley Greene impact is just a little bit greater than the Cade Mays one. Has your opinion on their first 5 games changed, the Lions? Do you still think they're 4-1 going into the break even without Mays? Or are you now like 3-2?
I mean, I'm certain. I mean, I'm like hopeful that they'll be 4-1, but I wouldn't be shocked if they lost one of those games. Like it's a big deal. Like the replacement at center could just be terrible.
Yeah,
like it's more likely that they're terrible than good.
Like Carolina Sunday night could just be a trap on the road.
Yeah,
just be a total trap. They've got a good defensive tackle as well. It's just I don't think Arizona's a team that you can just walk all over every single week. I think they'll be frisky and put up points just because they've got enough guys.
The Jets game, not too worried about that one.
No.
The Saints, who knows? Like the Saints, you never know. Like that team's going to be at least frisky this season, I think. The fact that it's game 1, I think, plays in the Lions' favor a little bit. But
yeah, I think the Lions will come out swinging in that one. I would hope so. I still think it's 4-1, but I would take 3-2 because previously we said 3-2 would be a disappointment going into the bye. Now you lose your top free agent signing. I think I would take 3-2. I'm not going to be all that mad if they drop the Carolina game, depending on how it goes. 989-837-6125. We talk about having the home field advantage all the time. Well, if your home or business uses propane, the company with that advantage is Forward Energy. Since 1925, they've been serving our local community with propane fuel solutions for homes, businesses, and people. Local people, reliable service. That's Forward Energy, part of the home team.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mix. By Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mix.
All right, let's work a little bit of football in the top 10 storylines for week 1 of preseason. It's around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
All right, Kyle, 10 things to know going into week 1 of preseason. I don't expect people to be watching all these games, especially if you're not a fan of the team that you're watching, but there is some storylines to monitor as the weekend progresses, starting with the very last quarterback battle. Shedeur Sanders versus Deshaun Watson. The Atlanta battle never really got started because Michael Penix has still not been cleared, so Tua is just going to be the starter. Kyler Murray versus J.J. McCarthy was never really a battle to begin with, and it didn't even get to training camp. The Raiders, very strangely shut down Mendoza, the idea of him starting early on. We'll get to that one in a little bit. But the last one, Watson versus Shedeur, the most famous backup quarterback of all time versus the worst guy of all time. Rappaport said that Watson is the slight favorite to win this job, and they did announce that Watson was going to be starting in this game, which is probably a sign that he's the week 1 starter. He hasn't played in over 2 years, Kyle. I don't think this is going to go well.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume that Deshaun Watson is going to be the starter. That's kind of been the talk all offseason. I don't really understand why you would make him the starter at this point, maybe just because of the contract he's paid, but it felt like his time in Cleveland had just been, I don't know, overstayed. I don't even know what you want to call it. A disaster, obviously.
He should be in jail.
And Shedeur Sanders just feels like the guy that, hey, you're going to be the starting quarterback this year. You're the young guy. We clearly don't think you're the future of the team, but if you show some signs, then maybe you will be. Kind of similar to like a Carson Beck situation in Arizona this year, except Shadeur's going into year 2. And Cleveland will just draft their next quarterback next season. But
it seems like a cycle that's happened before.
But Deshaun Watson seems to be that guy. Yeah, I assume he wins this battle. It's the worst quarterback battle ever.
Yeah, probably.
Who wins this battle?
Do you know what Deshaun Watson's record is as a Browns starter? Because it's not as bad as you would think.
Yeah, I mean, the Browns have had 2 playoff years. He was a quarterback, or he was a quarterback in one of them before getting injured.
19 games.
Probably like 7-12.
9-10.
Yeah.
Again, I stand on the fact that he should be in jail. The next one, J.J. McCarthy. I think he's the most exciting player that we have playing this weekend, right? How will he respond? That is a question we will have the answers to.
I can't believe
shortly.
he's even going to play.
Why? I say the opposite. I'm surprised if he doesn't play the entire game. Like, what's the point of playing Wentz? You know who Wentz is at this point.
Yeah, no, I
There's
agree,
nothing
but
you
it's
can
just
learn
like
from Wentz.
Oh, they've already announced the week 1 starter, McCarthy. You have no matter what you do in this game, you have no chance to be the starter. Just feels like something he would sit out on.
Then who else would play quarterback, though?
Some random guy.
Sure. I think JJ needs as many reps
Of course
as
he
humanly
does.
possible.
I agree.
And the second he throws a touchdown, it's going to be like, nah. Well, actually, Minnesota's smart for this because now if he plays good, maybe someone will give him a call. Try to salvage
Yeah.
a 5th-round pick for him.
Or maybe JJ will be like, see?
Do you think he does the meditating thing at the goalpost?
Of course.
Kind of his whole thing.
It's his only chance to do it this year. It's his only start of the season. Did they play tonight or they play this weekend?
They play...
Because that's when I kind of want to see. Yeah, they don't play till Saturday.
Who are they up against?
The Giants.
Yes, the G-Men. We got a story on them later, too. Number 3, Fernando Mendoza. Don't you think it's really bizarre? Like, now that we're a couple of weeks away from it, what was the incentive to shut down the idea of Fernando Mendoza playing so early? Because they did this whole thing of like, no, the quarterback has to earn their stripes. A rookie's got to show that they're the guy. Why did you shut down the idea of that so early, unnecessarily? Like, it felt like for no reason they just shoved Fernando Mendoza in his place and were like, you're not a starter yet, rookie.
I just don't get this one. I don't.
I don't get it.
He's the first overall pick, man. I understand that like some teams want to play it safe with their quarterbacks, especially if they don't feel like they're in a real spot to compete this season, and the Raiders probably aren't. So I get that part of it. Kirk Cousins is also a pretty good vet to have in the room for Fernando Mendoza. For guys that were gettable for them, there probably wasn't a better option than Kirk Cousins to be like the veteran QB for Fernando Mendoza. I don't know. Why would you not start the first overall pick quarterback?
But
He's
even
first overall, Heisman winner, national championship quarterback that had 5 years of college football. It's not like he's Ty Simpson.
But even if you didn't want to start him week 1, I just don't get who benefited from shutting that down so early on. Why not let him at least just go try to compete and think that he has a chance of starting?
Yeah.
Even if after 3 weeks of preseason,
Tom Brady turned it down.
You finally announce, like, no, we think we're excited for Fernando. We love what he did in camp, but we want to wait a little bit longer to make sure he's ready. And I don't think that would have been problematic at all. But instead, like, day 1 of training camp, they were like, Mendoza's starting. And you know why they did this. This was a Tom Brady decision.
Yeah,
because
and it's been reported on that it was.
Brady's going to make him sit all 18 games that Brady sat as a rookie and second-year player before he lets Mendoza go.
That'd be ridiculous. When do we see Mendoza? Week 4?
Hopefully.
Which is just crazy. He should be starting week 1. I don't get this. I do think sometimes we put a little bit too much expectation on the rookie quarterbacks. A lot of the veterans always talk about it. Like, man, when we came up, there was not all this pressure on us to be good right away. Everyone knew we were probably going to suck our rookie year, and it was just fine. I get that part of it. This guy won the Heisman, the Natty, and was the first overall pick. That's Joe Burrow.
Come on, though. Like,
I'm just saying that was the last guy to do that. I'm saying, like, that's the level of accolades that he's coming into the league with.
But there's not any film junkies out there that would have told you he's the same level prospect.
No, but,
Joe.
I mean, he's the Heisman.
So was Travis Hunter.
All right. You get what I'm trying to say.
I know. I got you. Rodgers versus McCarthy.
He can't quarterback the Raiders when he did the national championship team. All right.
Rodgers versus McCarthy is my next storyline. They're already beefing. Are you aware of this?
Rodgers and McCarthy.
Yes. McCarthy wants him to play because they've had this super soft, un-Pittsburgh Steelers-like training camp to where there's not tackling. They're tracking all their data, advanced analytics, all that. When every other Pittsburgh camp before this and every other camp in the North is all about just like, I mean, they're supposed to be hell, you know? They're supposed to be like what you think of in 2 days. This is AFC North football, man. And McCarthy says, because we practice that way, I think it's important for all of our starters to get reps in the preseason. And Aaron Rodgers is already like, nah, I don't think I see any reason in me playing in the preseason. So they're already beefing. It's also against Green Bay, which makes it a little bit more sexy. Who do you think wins this fight? Because I think Aaron Rodgers for sure is about to win this.
Yeah. I also don't think one of the few times I'll agree with Aaron Rodgers. What's the point of him playing in the preseason? Truly, what's the point? It's Steelers tradition. Okay, is Steelers tradition also losing in the first round of the playoffs every year? Because you can break tradition.
I just think it's funny that they're already disagreeing. That's really all I think.
But, like, what's the point of Rodgers playing in the preseason, you know?
I don't think
he's going
there really
into the
is
last year of his career. There's literally 0 point of it. You know who Aaron Rodgers is. We all know who he is. He does not need to play in the preseason. I'm with him here. Still hate him, though.
Our fifth storyline is Daniels / his backup, which is still Mariota, already going to be under pressure.
Really? It's still Mariota?
Yeah, isn't that
He's
funny?
a really bad backup at this point of his career.
You think so?
Yeah.
I still have him.
Every time he goes out there, I'm just like, oh no. Like Mariota tries to like do the like, oh, I still got the wheels. I still got the jukes.
That's true.
I still can make you miss. It's like, dude, you can't,
really
man.
can't.
And I feel bad. Like he takes some big hits.
Yeah, he does.
When
he's
he comes
reliable
in.
though in terms of like, you know what you're getting at least.
Yeah, that's
he knows
true.
the playbook. You know what you're getting. Whoever's playing quarterback for the Commanders this weekend, are they just going to be under constant pressure the entire game? No Tunsil. They already lost him. I found out their replacement was a guy who was benched last season as a guard, and that's now who's playing tackle for them. Jaden Daniels was pressured on 39% of his dropbacks last season. I really worried for this kid and his career potentially getting ruined here with last year and now this year. So whether or not he's under pressure, another storyline. Bears, season from hell. Are you aware of what's going on here? I know the 49ers, they kind of have their own situation. Like, maybe every season is a season from hell since they play next to that zapper. But the Bears actually might be the favorite right now to be one of the season from hell teams. Nickelback Kyler Gordon, he's on the PUP list with a calf injury that happened in camp. Safety Kobe Bryant is going to be out 4 to 6 months after having knee surgery.
That one sucks.
2 other reserve guys in the secondary have already been put on the PUP list as well. They're going to be out for a while. There's going to be a lot of Lions-Bears shootouts this year, if I had to guess, because both secondaries are looking pretty weak. If the Bears continue to get banged up during preseason, that's going to be a tough blow for them. I think they're right now the lead candidate for the season from hell.
It's a good start to being the season from hell team. Obviously, it can come and go whenever. It happened to the Lions a couple years ago, but it really wasn't the season from hell because they survived it. Like, to me, the team that is the season from hell team is the team that has expectations and is just mid. They aren't, like, terrible because of the injuries. Like, the Commanders last year, I wouldn't say they were season from hell, but they certainly had a ton of injuries. But they also weren't, like, really competing at all. They just lost a ton of games. It's like the 49ers from a couple years ago where it's like, oh, but they'll bounce back. Niners will bounce back. No, then the next guy gets hurt. Then the next guy, oh, you won a game? The next guy gets hurt.
I think Baltimore might have been season from hell team last year.
Yeah, Baltimore feels appropriate because they went into
Cincy.
They went to the final game of the year with a chance to make the playoffs. And their kicker missed a 25-yard field goal. It was actually like a 40-yarder, but still.
Yeah, 40 is the new 25 in the NFL. You got to be able to make 40-yard field goals in the NFL.
That was, like, by the way, I always forget about, when you go so long in the NFL offseason, you forget about just, like, key regular season games, even from so recent ago. The Steelers-Ravens Week 18 game, Sunday Night Football, to go to the playoffs, was like an insane game. There was, like, 4 touchdowns scored in the final 4 minutes of this game. And then the Ravens kicker sets it up, and no one misses the game-winning field goal anymore.
No.
Everyone knew that was going in, and he missed it. Even Tirico, like, it blew his mind that he missed it because nobody misses game-winning field goals anymore.
Not 42-yarders, or however long it was.
It was crazy, yeah.
How about this? Another preseason storyline for Week 1. Which rookie wide receivers are going to pop here? I'll give you the option of Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, Deshaun Stribling, who's getting a lot of camp.
Niners?
Yeah, a lot of buzz out of Niners camp. And Denzel Boston, who's just got the worst quarterback situation. I think from a fantasy standpoint, go try to get Carnell Tate. He's the one rookie receiver I'd be going to try to get right now.
One, yeah.
Not only that, but he's like for sure set up to be the wide receiver one on his own team.
Yeah, that's the big part. I mean, like the Stribling guy is going to be a guy you could get super duper late, so sure. And Tate obviously is going to go, like, I think he's like a 6th rounder right now in redraft.
Yeah. Tyson's one with tremendous upside. He's one of those high school pedigree guys, top recruit, always is viewed as one of the best wide receivers, but injuries have just kept him off the field. So we'll see what happens. And Chris Olave's still there.
Olave's
really
still there, but like also Olave last year was the first healthy season he's had in quite some time for New Orleans.
He was great.
And I think they have the ability to be like a pretty good offense. With Shook shining at the end of the year, they have the double running backs that are both pretty fun. They have the opportunity to be like a fun offense, and if Olave ever does go down, like all of a sudden you're looking at Jordan Tyson like, whoa, this guy could be good. So I would still rock with Tate, though. Yeah, I'm with you.
Mekhi Lemon's like a high floor, low ceiling guy.
I don't think so.
Don't really know.
I think Lemon is such a risk.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like I just am all set on acquiring, like for year one. Obviously, if you have him in Dynasty, then he should be good at some point, but I don't really see a world where he's great for the Eagles this year.
I wouldn't touch Denzel Boston with a 10-foot pole just because of the quarterback situation.
And Bill Simmons, Rookie of the Year, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that. All right, number 8. Are the Giants bullies? I don't really care about the wins and losses for preseason teams. If I had to pick one team in which, if they won, actually had some meaning to it, it's the Giants. Do you remember Harbaugh when he won 23 straight preseason games in Baltimore?
I forgot about that. Wow.
47-17 overall in his preseason games during his time at Baltimore. And then right when they started to lose their preseason games, I felt like is when the culture started to slip a little bit. Look, if we want to really solidify, if the Giants want to call themselves this culture team and John Harbaugh is this awesome and culture coach, they should go take care of business this week. Even if it's the backups. McCarthy. They should just go take care of business.
What a matchup. John Harbaugh, who doesn't lose in the preseason, versus 9. I mean, you want to talk about football being back. Football is back.
Number 9, Jacoby Lane. Are you aware of this? 6'4" rookie receiver out of USC.
Who for Washington?
USC plays for Baltimore.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
Apparently getting a lot of camp buzz, so someone to keep your eyes on there.
Okay.
And then the last one, storyline number 10. Who is wide receiver 1 in Miami? Because there is potential for a late round fantasy steal.
I got a better question. Who is a wide receiver for Miami?
Jalen Tolbert, Caleb Douglas, Malik Washington. One of these guys has to catch a bunch of passes this year. I just have no idea who it is. And if you're
Would not have named any three of those guys.
If you're doing a late round, flyer on some guy, I would take one of these guys because one of these guys will just end up catching like 60, 70 passes at some point this season, I think. Somebody's got to catch passes. You just got to take a stab at who it is.
Are you sure?
No, it's Miami.
Like, or could it just be, those guys each catch 3 passes a game?
I picked up Jalen Tolbert in all my leagues.
Tolbert was one time fine for the Cowboys, so I don't necessarily hate that one.
And he's the free agent acquisition that they went out and sought and got. So I picked him up in all my dynasty leagues just as we'll see what happens here.
So here's a proposition for you. Malik Willis, when he in the final 4 games, when everyone thought he was pretty good for the Packers last year, let's go through his pass attempts in each of these games. Ready? The first game he started in versus the Giants, where they won 27-20. Want to know how many passes he threw? Take a guess.
14.
2. How about the next game against the Minnesota Vikings? They win 23-6, a win. How many passes do you think he had? 14. 1.
No.
3 passes in 2 games. Started both of these games. Chicago Bears, they lose in overtime. An overtime game, 22-16. 11 pass attempts. And then finally, the final game of the year against Baltimore, 18 of 21. So he did throw a little bit in that game.
From a fantasy standpoint, if you just got screwed on quarterbacks and you're like, oh shoot, I ran out of all the good guys, last round, just take Malik Willis. He might just be a fantasy cheat code this year.
Yeah, Malik Willis threw the ball 35 times in 4 starts last year.
But how much did he rush?
Oh yeah, I mean talking for fantasy, like that.
Yeah,
he
that's
had
all I'm saying.
Yeah, he had 120 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns in 4 games, pretty good. He's going to be a good runner. I'm just saying, from this wide receiver thing, I don't think a Miami Dolphins wide receiver needs to shine. I think that he could legit throw the ball 12 times a game, and 10 of them will go to Devon Achane.
There you go. Those are your 10 storylines for this weekend. Dow, proudly rooted in Midland and making an impact all around the world. Innovations that create cleaner solutions for water, safer homes, and more sustainable futures. A company built on science but driven by people with thousands of employees who call this community home. Supporting local schools, events, and nonprofits because being a good neighbor matters. From the lab to the Little League field, Dow is invested in the places we live, work, and play. Dow solving with science and standing with community.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, the 3 things to watch for Lions preseason tonight. Do the wins and losses matter? No. Does the quarterback battle matter between Josh Dobbs and Luke Altmaier? No. What does matter is how Blake Miller plays at right tackle. I expect him to play for the first quarter. What was that?
What did you say?
Why did that just play?
What play? The wrong button?
No.
That?
No, not that.
I played that.
The other thing would be Ennis Rakestraw versus Nick Whiteside as the I can't get it out of my head. Why was there just a meow?
Maybe you were talking about the Lions. Lions is a cat.
Ah. That makes I don't think
Yeah.
lions meow though, is the thing.
No, they roar.
Yeah.
I don't have a roar sounder, but I got that.
That's a great addition.
Yep.
Ennis Rakestraw versus Nick Whiteside. That right there is the best defensive battle that we have going on in camp. Because I'm not exactly sure there's room for both of these guys. Obviously, kind of opposites in a lot of different ways. Rakestraw, an unproven high draft pick, whereas Nick Whiteside has been, scraping his way from the very bottom of the roster as a practice squad guy and has now worked himself into a position where a couple nice plays today and a nice performance in a preseason game, and he could be the second string corner for all we know. He has played that well in camp, according to all the reporters that are there every single day. So that's a battle to watch. And then Ahmed Hasneen, who was the Lions 6th-round pick last year, Boise State, Egyptian guy, really awesome story. Ended up being hurt all of his rookie season. He's shifting from edge over to this big end spot and has worked his way up to being a second-team guy. So very intrigued to see what they can get out of him in this first preseason game tonight against the Bengals, in which they're going to be going toe-to-toe with the Bengals starters for at least the first drive or first quarter. Again, I don't really care if they win or lose, but there is a couple things to watch, and I think those are the 3 most important things that fans should be watching going into today.
What's the overreaction going to be? There obviously has to be one tomorrow.
Luke Altmaier needs to be the backup
Could he
quarterback.
be the future backup?
The future backup.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Should the third string corner be this guy? Like, there will be some sort of overreaction tomorrow, and I'm just trying to figure out I'm trying to predict what
I think
it's
it's
going to
Nick
be.
Whiteside. I think Nick Whiteside.
But
should
what's
Nick
the
Whiteside?
overreaction about Nick Whiteside?
He should be the starter.
No, I think there's going to be some running back that scores a touchdown and we're like, should he be the next Sonic and Knuckles?
Does Jabari Spall need more playing time?
Yeah. Yeah. We don't even have like the Isaac Tesla stuff to overreact to. This last year we were just all in on the Tesla stuff. We don't even have that this year.
Yeah, I don't expect him to play tonight either.
But we just don't have the guy to be like, he
weapon.
was the preseason darling. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have that at all. Tesla's had a tough training camp, according to most of the writers, so that's something to monitor as well. All right, it's the Ben Bosscher Show, 11 o'clock hour coming up. Dillon Dingler, need to discuss that at bat. You know the one I'm talking about when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Easy Electric Studios. This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Ben Bosscher Show. Look, I'm not going to sit here and yell again into this microphone, but look, man, we got to hold Dillon Dingler to a higher standard. Yesterday's at-bat, bottom of the ninth inning, game-winning run at the plate was Dillon Dingler. It was 6-4, 2 guys on. Dillon Dingler comes to the plate and just 1, 2, 3, watches 3 different fastballs, just come into the zone, doesn't swing at any of them. That kind of stuff just can't happen. It's a disgusting at-bat. Considering all things, the stake of that game, what we expect from Dillon Dingler at this point, the fact that he's an MVP candidate, Riley's not in the game, and you got a chance to go come back and steal a win against the Guardians, a game in which you didn't play all that great. I think that was the worst at-bat of the season from any Tiger. It's disappointing, not just for the Tigers to lose that game, but for their guy that we've been anointing as the best player on a guy who's past McGonigal. He's had a better season than Kevin McGee. He's had a better season than Riley Greene. Guy that Tigers fans are doing their best to push towards this MVP conversation. For him to be at the plate in this enormous moment, biggest moment of the season, chance to get back to 500, chance to take the series a day early against Cleveland, chance to get into a wild card spot, all the things on the line. For Dingler to not even swing his bat, he may as well have taken a Pringles can to the box. That was disappointing to see. It infuriated me. I was sitting there. I wasn't cursing out my TV, but I just couldn't believe it. I was like, what was that? I really thought Dillon Dingler was about to deliver the best moment of his career. He was about to deliver an RBI and keep this game alive in the bottom of the ninth inning. And instead, it's not even the result of the at-bat, which was a strikeout. Because if he would have went down swinging, we wouldn't be having this conversation. If he would have popped out, we wouldn't be having this conversation. If he would have hit into a double play, we wouldn't have been having this conversation. But the audacity to not even attempt to swing the bat, it did feel like a deer in the headlights moment for Dillon Dingler, which that is just going to be a moment until I see a different one where it's going to be in the back of my mind anytime Dillon Dingler comes up in a very big situation from this point forward the rest of the season. The moment seemed a little bit too bright for him. Like if J.R. Smith not knowing what the score was and Chris Webber calling a timeout, if those were 10s, last night felt like a 7.5 or an 8. The moment was too big, and I'm going to file that away for later for Dillon Dingler because, unfortunately, we have to hold that guy to a higher standard now that he is in MVP talks. If that was Zach McKinstry, if that was Hao Yu Lee, yeah, we'd be upset. I don't think we'd be doing segments about it the next day. But when you go down and you take 3 pitches, all of which are in the zone, never swing the bat or even think about it really, you're going to have some people breathing down your necks when you are supposed to be the guy, especially with Riley out, that's delivering in these big-time moments. You had a chance to deliver, and not only did you not, you didn't even really try. That's the part that hurts the most about Dillon Dingler's ninth inning at-bat.
Well, I think also because just comparing it to those other guys, if it was Hao Yu Lee coming up to the plate, if it was anybody other than Dillon Dingler, honestly, you're not expecting them to oh man, this is the perfect guy to the plate.
Yeah, the crowd's maybe not on their feet.
Back-to-back hits from Javi and Glaber. Let's go. We got 2 guys on. This is the spot. Dingler hasn't really been hitting well lately. What an opportunity for him to make up for it right here. And then for it to go like that. And that was also an immediate, text the group chat type of at-bat. Mm-hmm. That was an immediate go on Twitter, WTF Dillon Dingler, and then there's memes everywhere about his at-bat. The classic clip of the dude at the batting practice where he just doesn't move as the fastball blows by him.
I thought of the Mitch McConnell one.
Yeah, dude froze.
He's frozen.
Yeah.
He's not moving.
That was that type of at-bat. And the good news is you say, oh, we can't, that's the memory that's going to be on my mind about Dillon Dingler until something happens. What if he makes up for it today?
Easily
What if he does it today at 1:10 in 2 hours? That
it's a
easily
day game
could happen.
Today?
Yeah, it's a getaway day. For Cleveland, at least.
I guess I didn't even put the 2 and 2 together.
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
1:10 today. So, he could do it in 3 hours. have a big-time spot. This is a huge game today, and last night felt like the opportunity, and you said it is a must-win. They obviously can still lose this game and be in the same exact spot they were in yesterday. Like, it's not that big of a deal if they lose today, but it just feels like it because it's Cleveland.
So it's a must-win for my sanity.
Yeah, you got to win the series over Cleveland, and also this homestand is one that we have tagged as, hey, if you go 4-2 in this homestand, like, Tigers are officially in this thing. They are, like, at the top of this thing.
Yeah, you officially climbed out of the hole and are standing on 2 feet.
So then you have to sweep Chicago if you end up losing today, and expecting a sweep against a team that's in first place.
It's a tough task.
Seems a little bit difficult to do. Now, the pitching rotation you have going against Chicago, you feel pretty fun about. Joe Melton, back-to-back days. I like that. Me likey. And today, you're going up against Parker Messick. Like, that's the worst part about this is you won the Drew Anderson start on Tuesday. Framber Valdez does classic Framber Valdez yesterday. Can't get out of the first inning, and then you're clawing your way back. You actually had a chance to do it, and now you have to go up against the lone guy on the Guardians who deserved to make the All-Star game.
Yeah, luckily.
Like, that's pretty tough.
Luckily, they won't have Cade Smith tonight. After throwing what he finished with, 38 pitches yesterday, a career high. So they won't have their nasty closer. But at the same time, it's like, boy, like you really would have liked to pick up a win yesterday. It felt like their waist was out of the hole that they dug themselves. They swung 1 foot over, and all they had to do was like roll their last leg out from this hole. And instead they slipped back, and now their waist is like still, the bottom half of them is still dangling in the hole that they've dug for themselves. You got to win tonight to really scoop your leg back over, and then once you're 500 is when you're kind of out on the hole, but you just can't get pushed back.
And yesterday was the day, man. Yesterday was the day to finally get back to 500. We had talked about how long it's been since they've been there. It was the first week of May, so it's been close to 3.5 months at this point since they've been 500, and it's just been the slowest grind ever to get back to it. And Dillon Dingler had the chance yesterday, and once again, the whole game is not blamed on him. But
no, Framber was bad in the first inning again. McGonigal had a really bad error from third base. Howley couldn't convert a double play.
It's just like when a guy misses the game-winning shot, or when Malik Beasley is wide open on the right wing in the game that the Pistons are going to lose in the Knicks, and he drops the pass.
Yeah.
Is the whole game on him? No. What do you remember from the game? That.
Yeah.
And it's just like the Dillon Dingler at bat.
But guess what? At least Malik Beasley got a shot up.
No, he didn't. He dropped the ball. It flew out of bounds. He was wide open.
Oh, yeah, I know the play you're talking about in the left corner. Yeah, that is what that's like.
And then he was cheating and gambling, and we never heard from him again.
Yeah, this would be like if you had the ball with a game-winning shot and you just never even attempted the shot and the shot clock just ran out. Be like, wait, what just happened? You didn't even give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
That was the Dillon Dingler at bat because he never swung the bat.
And
could have went up there with a golf club, dude. It wouldn't have mattered.
With anything. Could have went up there without a bat. The dude that did the, I'm golfing without a ball thing. That was Dillon Dingler.
That was the best
I'm
fantasy
batting
football
without a
punishment
bat.
ever.
And it would have been the same exact thing. Gary mentions it in our YouTube chat. Parker Messick, the real deal. Fastball, very good. Going up against the Tigers today. That's the part that sucks. It's like today just feels like it's going to be one of those classic Tigers-Guardians game. Oh, it's 1-0 going into the 8th inning. It just feels like it's going to be one of those. And, I hate those so much. That's how the playoff series went against them last year as well.
I grind it out.
Yeah, and I'm not excited for that, but it feels like it is. I would have been feeling way better if they were up 2-0 in the series and already had captured it going into today.
Yeah.
Because you could afford to take the L. And right now, you can technically afford, but you got to win a series against Cleveland. You got to win a series against Cleveland.
Yeah. You're right in terms of like, they could lose a series and be no, they got to win tonight. Like, if you want us to take you seriously as a playoff team, you have to win today's game, and you can't just let Cleveland continue to stuff you into a locker and bully you over and over and over and over again. You can't let that happen. Bring your A game today. Somebody step up in place of Riley Greene. Spencer Torkelson's been really hot as of late. Continue to hit your 2 RBI doubles, and we're going to have a shot to win this thing, But one thing that cannot happen is at-bats when the game is on the line in which you don't even give your team a chance. The lights were too bright for Dillon Dingler yesterday. I don't think that'll happen again, but that is certainly stashed away in my memory file for the next time that Dillon Dingler's in a very clutch situation where he has a chance to come deliver the game-winning runs. The moment felt a little bit too big for him yesterday, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, he's just got to have a good game today. Like, straight up.
He's 1 for 21 in his last 21
He has to
ABs.
recover today. I know we said that at some point, like, he's going to bounce back from this, obviously. It's not like he's just going to stink the rest of the year. But, like, I think it's got to happen today. Based off of just what happened last night, he needs to have either a multi-hit game or a big hit, a homer, something to be like, okay, Thank you, Dillon. Thank you for bouncing back quickly after that.
I loved how the game ended, and immediately Andy Dirks was like, that was the best loss of the entire season.
I didn't catch the audio, unfortunately, on the broadcast last night, and I heard you texted this to me, and I, what? He was excited?
He was just so happy. He's like, we got an awesome opportunity to play baseball tomorrow in a rubber match. I'm so excited. Max Clark had a great at-bat. The Tigers scratched and clawed their way through this thing and gave themselves a chance. Not once did they talk about the Dingler at-bat. I was a little disappointed and frustrated with that.
I totally get that. I will say I do agree with the Dirks. Well, I just agree with the fact that, it sets up an awesome game today.
Sure.
It totally sets up a huge stakes game today. That shouldn't be celebrated that the Tigers lost that game last night, though.
I just thought to gloss over the Dillon Dingler at-bat, which was
the moment of the game, yeah.
It was one of the moments of the season, honestly.
And a broadcaster's number one job is to talk about the moment and highlight what the moments of the game were,
Yeah, and I thought that was probably the worst at-bat of the entire season, all things considered. What was on the line, who was at the plate, who you were playing, the bottom of the ninth inning, game-winning, all of it.
A team that has Javi Baez on it, too.
Yeah, that was the worst at-bat
of the year. Sheesh.
Yeah, Dingler, you're right. He's got to bounce back today. Got to do something. Don't be 1 for 24 at the end of this game.
So you saying lock of the day, Dingler homer?
No, I won't go that far. He's cold. I'm not going to bet on him when
and
he's
yet
cold.
Somehow, by the way, Dillon Dingler's MVP odds were cut by 1,000. He was plus 4,500. He's now plus 3,500. Huh?
I don't get it.
Just because the Tigers have been winning lately, I guess? I don't know.
11 o'clock hour here on the show is brought to you by Yiter Insurance. Life happens fast, and at Yiter Insurance Group, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned, trusted in Midland for decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, Yiter is the right coverage for every stage of life. Their team makes insurance simple with expert advice and real people you can actually talk to. That is Yiter Insurance Group. We'll be there when you need us since 1940.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mix.
All right, Spencer Torkelson, he is kind of one guy who goes not totally blameless because he probably should have picked up the play that was supposed to be a double play from Hao Yu Lee over from second base. They couldn't turn the double play. So I don't want to say totally blameless, but he has been very hot as of late, going back all the way to just when the second half really kicked off after the All-Star break. Spencer Torkelson, since the break, is hitting .303 with an .838 OPS. Versus left-handed pitching the entire season, .282 average, .820 OPS. And this is the most impressive stat of them all. With runners in scoring position this year, a position which Spencer Torkelson has notoriously not come through. Tork is hitting .319 and .1029 OPS in 91 at-bats. I think he's officially slammed the door shut on Briseño coming up at any point this season. And I know we still have September call-ups and all that. And while Briseño was murdering Double-A baseball, and Torkelson was kind of like, it was before he had really heated up. He was kind of in the beginning of his heat-up phase. You and I, we've been banging the drum for a while. We think Briseño eventually is going to take Torkelson's job as the everyday first baseman for this team. Torkelson clearly has heard the noise because he is basically slamming that door shut, at least for the rest of this season. I think because of the way that Torkelson has played, especially with runners in scoring position and his ability to hit some RBIs, that is going to save his job, at the very least, for the remainder of the season. You got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge Tork guy. I think he's a replaceable bat, but he's playing well right now when the Tigers need him to the most.
And I think the door on Briseño coming up was probably already nearly closed anyways. He would have had to, I mean, he still can. He made his debut last night for Toledo.
There would have been some rumblings.
He would have to really rake, I think, in AAA to do it, just because he is coming off of a season or he's coming off of injury. He's missed most of the season anyways, and he just got to AAA. And with September call-ups, there's two guys that are eligible for the Rule 5 draft that kind of have to get added to the 40-man roster. It'd be kind of an irresponsible roster move for the Tigers to not promote either Max Anderson or, I'm forgetting the other guy. He's the shortstop, John Peck. He's the other guy. So, and Julks is another one of those guys who might have been a September call-up guy. They just called him up now. So
I agree with you, but if Torkelson would just kind of stunk,
exactly,
there would have been noise.
There was the world where Torkelson just stunk and Briseño did what he did in 15 games in AA at the AAA level, and it's like, well,
kind of have to.
Like, why not? You know, like we're going for it here. He's the best option. It's kind of like the case I was always making for Max Clark. Oh, he's not ready. He's not ready. Well, he's better than James Outman.
Yeah, and he
He's
certainly
better
has
than
been better
Malgiri.
than both of those guys.
Exactly. And Max Clark, by the way, has played every single day since coming up. So that's good to see that they're not doing this weird split stuff with him either. So, yeah, the Torkelson stuff, is he saving his job long-term with the Tigers?
I don't think so.
No. Potentially saving his job to be, like, on the team next year, though.
Correct.
Which is the future. Like, I think there was a world where he was not even on the team next year. It's like, okay, we're going into next season. Briseño ended the year strong in the minor leagues. He's probably the opening day first baseman next year. And Spencer Torkelson is not a platooner, so we're going to deal him. And that's kind of what I thought we were headed for. If he continues this good stretch, which it's been a long stretch, like you said at this point, post All-Star break, like that is quite some time.
It's a month.
Yeah.
Over a month.
If he could continue that and push them into, like, help push it towards a playoff appearance and continues it in the playoffs, yeah, there's no reason why he's not the first baseman next year. Like, none at all.
Yeah.
Which is good for the team, ultimately. I still think Torkelson is not, like, I think we are well past any version of him being an all-star, being better than what he already has been. I think he just is what he is.
Yeah.
He's a guy
who
that's
hits 25 home runs a year.
He's going to hit 25 to 30 bombs with a pretty bad batting average, going to strike out a crap ton, and
he's an okay first baseman.
Okay first baseman, but clearly doesn't have, like, the pop that you would want from your first baseman, which is a position that's just very difficult to find a good guy at in the big leagues anyways.
Yeah.
It's a tough position. There's just not a lot of really good first basemen walking around.
Well, you have, in order to be a really good first baseman, you basically have to be an awesome bat. You have to hit 30 home runs
you have to be a huge power
consistently.
bat.
Yeah, and Torkelson's just, I don't know, he's probably around the 20th best first baseman in baseball in any given year. It's probably where he's just kind of averaged out to be.
Yeah.
Some years maybe creeps up to 16th. Some years he's as far back as 25th.
But I think he has established himself as a big league player.
Correct.
A guy that's going to be in a lineup of a team for the next 5 years at least. And so whether that's on the Tigers or not, you don't necessarily know. But if he continues to play the way he has, yeah, it will be with the Tigers for at least a while.
It is crazy, though, because you and I both have never been big Torkelson guys.
I'm still not. This isn't changing my mind.
No, neither am I. But these stats are undeniable with how great he's played, not just since the All-Star break, but when runners are in scoring position against left-handed pitching, in which there's a lefty on the mound today for Cleveland. He's just been a good hitter against in all of those situations throughout the course of the entire season, which I was a little surprised about as I kind of dove deeper into it last night after his second consecutive game with the 2 RBI double. He's looking pretty good right now. So they need that, especially with Riley Greene out. Torkelson stepping up and, kind of delivering in some big moments would go a really long way for the Tigers over the next 10 days without Riley Greene.
Yeah.
Minimum 10 days without Riley Greene.
Even right now, there's only 12 first basemen in the entire sport that have 20 homers this year. He's one of them.
And he's one of them.
You know, that's it. It's something. And obviously, his OPS isn't good. You sort it by OPS. It's okay, now you're talking about that 20
how far back
range.
does he fall?
He's 18th among qualified first basemen.
And
That's right about where we view him at.
And that OPS has skyrocketed over the past month.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if it was a month ago, he would be in the Vlad Guerrero territory.
That needs to be studied, man. What has happened to Vlad Guerrero?
You still know the stat about him at home?
He hasn't hit a home run.
0 home runs at home.
He has 7 on the year, doesn't he?
7 homers.
What happened to this guy?
He's on one of the biggest, the most lucrative contracts in the sport as well.
Yeah, $500 million.
It's
right?
unbelievable.
$400
You know who's
million?
having a good year, by the way, that when the Tigers haven't played this team in a while, so you kind of forget about it. Cody Clemens, the former Tiger prospect as well, the son of Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
He's got 20 bombs for the Twins this year.
Really?
He's an everyday guy in their lineup. He's just a big leaguer now. He was terrible for the Tigers. He was terrible for the couple teams he went to after the Tigers.
Yeah.
Baseball, man, it's such a weird sport.
It is. It really is. The strangest guys will come back to haunt you. Remember Dillon Smith against the Padres?
Really good
against San Fran. It was oh, this guy's good now?
And I see people being oh, Scott Harris, another messed up. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and blame. Dillon Smith wasn't very good for the Tigers.
Mm-hmm. He was bad.
Didn't really have a spot in their bullpen. Sometimes it does take a change of scenery for a guy to be good. Would they love this current version of Dillon Smith? Hell yeah. They didn't have this current version of Dillon Smith.
There's another guy in the division that was once upon a time on the Tigers and crushes now. I'm trying to remember who it was. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to come up with it right now.
Hopefully it's not on the Guardians.
No, he's not on the Guardians. But it has become a must-win game tonight, or today, 1 o'clock start. You had a chance to win last night. Dillon Dingler did not come through, and now all of a sudden today, I'm considering it the first must-win of the season. You got to win if you want to be taken seriously as a team that can claw all the way back and make the playoffs.
Which, the good news is about this Tigers team, I'll pull up the schedule just to confirm this, but they've been winning these rubber match games.
Yeah, they have.
That's the part that is exciting. Obviously you had the one against San Francisco, which was quite the game. It was one of the better wins of the year, and hopefully we can say that after today's game as well. They won the rubber match against Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
The last one that they lost was that Baltimore terrible game. And since that game, the Scooble final start, it's been smooth sailing. So if you can win another rubber match, which would be a 3rd straight series of doing so, that would feel pretty awesome to do it against Cleveland as well.
If you've got
that's playoff type wins too. I mean, that's the best part about it.
100%. Last night's entire game felt like a playoff atmosphere.
Yeah.
Crowd was on their feet. It was rowdy. You had the F Ohio chants going on. People were taking their shirts off. Good crowd. I had a buddy down there that said the exact same thing, that it was just really rowdy. It felt like an electrifying atmosphere the entire time, and everyone was pretty deflated after Dillon Dingler watched 3 pitches go by.
Also, the funniest part of last night's game, I don't know how we haven't mentioned this yet, was when McGonigal does score off the wild pitch at 3rd.
Yeah.
He only scored because the dude in the home plate club immediately stood up and is just like,
Go,
dude, let's
go. no.
I think Max Clark was the hitter, right?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, like
It was Clark.
even Clark didn't wave it home at first. He kind of just like looked around, and McGonigal looked, and the dude just stands up and is like, let's go. And then as soon as he does that, McGonigal takes off.
Well, it's funny because the
Oh,
catcher
that
had
was
no
so
idea where the
funny.
ball was, and the pitcher just kept pointing to it and then went to
And
go
the
cover
pitcher
home.
wasn't, yeah, the pitcher wasn't doing anything.
Well, he was doing something. He ran home. It's like, dude, go get the ball if you know where it is, because your catcher clearly doesn't know it. And as soon as McGonigal recognized that, he just
That was
took
awesome.
it.
Just the dude in the home plate cub. Imagine being that guy. You just got to run in.
yeah. The Tigers owe you a $500 check, my friend.
And the camera shot they had down the third base line was perfect because you could just see him, McGonigal, like see him and just take off. That was hilarious.
Yeah, McGonigal showing off the wheels. Remember one of our very first early impressions on McGonigal? We were like, wait, this guy's really fast? He's fast too? What?
Way faster than we ever thought, yeah.
Yeah, he's got some speed to him. I also love when those situations happen where, like, okay, McGonigal was in the 3-hole yesterday and Clark was in the 7. So, like, McGonigal gets scored by Clark.
Right.
Or vice versa. If Clark's in the bottom and then McGonigal's lead off. I love it. If you've got boring floors or a sad shower, Premier Tile and Stone is here to rescue your surfaces from the snooze zone. These folks, they turn tile into art. Talking about kitchens, bathrooms, backsplashes, fireplaces. If it holds still, they'll tile it beautifully. Locally owned in Midland, but their work looks like it belongs in a magazine that charges $15 an issue. Giant selection of fancy stuff. I'm talking porcelain, ceramic, natural stone, and materials you probably can't pronounce, but you're going to love them. Stop dreaming and start scheming. Visit the showroom and let your inner interior designer run wild. That's Premier Tile and Stone, where grout gets fabulous and grout gets glorious.
At Yiter Insurance Group, we know your home and vehicle are more than just policies. They're part of your everyday life. That's why our personal lines team takes the time to help you find the right
Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
$11:30. Let's see what happens. It's the news.
The Mitts Morning Catch.
Hey, Kyle.
All right, I brought my news with me this time.
Good job. You're not taking three pitches right here.
I'm not gonna turn it down. I'm not gonna take anything off. Okay, here we go. We just got some news that Jason Benetti, by the way, we got the NBA schedule dropping today. That's what I was going to lead off with this. But Jason Benetti is joining NBC's NBA play-by-play team for this season. Look at that. So Benetti obviously is the voice of Sunday Night Baseball on NBC, and it was on Peacock until basketball season was over. He's going to join NBC's team, which is tremendous.
I love it.
Yeah, Benetti does college basketball a ton with Fox and NBC and Peacock games, so it looks like he's going to be doing a lot more NBA this year than probably still doing a good amount of college, hopefully, because I like when he does the college games. Him and Raftery are just like a goated duo. Yeah, shout out to Benetti.
He had a moment yesterday that had me dying. The pitch comp thing at the very beginning of the game. Him talking through those type of moments is pure comedy gold. He's in like the dream blunt rotation. He's so funny, man.
We got Tigers lineup today. Javi Baez playing a new position.
Second.
Catcher. No, I'm kidding.
Well,
He's playing left field today.
McGonigal short. Colt Keith at third.
Yep, McGonigal short. How you Lee at third. Glaber at second. With Javi Baez out in left because Max Clark he's going to play center field. He played center field every single day that he was in Toledo, so it makes sense.
Who's batting cleanup?
Eduardo Valencia, lefty on the mound, so I would assume that's why.
Okay.
Dingler bats second. I'll just read it off. Glaber, Dingler, McGonigal, Valencia, Torque, Lee, Clark, Baez, Malgiri.
Yeah, Torque gets bumped up. Yeah, they need Torque to come through.
Against the lefty today, too, so you want to get the Torkelson at-bats as quick as possible. Malgiri will probably be batted for by James Outman or something at some point in this game. Yeah, that's super sick. Looking at the Covenant Healthcare Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Injury Report, you know it at this point. We've said it, but just got to reiterate. Riley Greene, 10-day injured list due to that hamstring. Corey Julks was the correspondent move, who's not in the lineup today. Was hoping that we would get Kerry Carpenter just added back to the team instead, because also you wouldn't have to take away a 40-man roster spot, but he's not ready to be back, I guess, which is unfortunate because he's been with the team for a while, so I'm wondering what's the holdup. Hopefully we get some Kerry Carpenter at least this weekend against the White Sox. Okay, the MLB pitcher power rankings that the MLB puts out has a new person in the top 10, Ben. Troy Melton.
Really?
Making the top 10 pitchers in baseball. He comes in at number 10, so that's pretty cool. I assume this is just like qualified pitchers, but no, it's not because Troy Melton's not.
I think
because guess who's not on this list?
Skeens.
Scooble.
What? Is it an American League?
No, it's just pitchers in baseball. Scooble's not on here.
Whose list?
And
is
Troy
this?
Melton is in the top. It's MLB's, like it's Major League Baseball. They do out a pitcher power rankings. Who's
number one?
Number one is Mizrowski.
So it's just for this season?
Yeah. Who's having the best season?
Oh, then I don't think. Yes, I guess it's not crazy that Scooble's not on there, even though he probably just like should
he's not
be.
A top 10. Like Melton's better than.
I mean,
Scooble.
if we're only going just
Melton's
this season,
than
Melton
Scooble.
should be higher than Scooble, though.
That's what. Well, Melton should be higher than probably number 10, anyways. The top comment.
Correct.
There aren't 9 pitchers better than Troy Melton right now. No way.
Yeah, I'm 100% with that.
Just thought that was interesting.
This is Baez's 4th game ever in left field. I had no idea he'd played there before.
First this season, though, right? I think they played him there a couple times when they moved him to the outfield last time, right?
I don't remember,
Could be
but
wrong.
I guess so.
Interesting, though. So we'll see Javi out in left today. I like it. What if that's his new spot? With no Riley Greene, obviously. That's usually his spot.
Could be AJ Hinch getting creative.
Okay, we got the FedEx St. Jude Championship kicking off today, Thursday through Sunday in Memphis. So far, Harris English leads the way, 5 under. Tommy Fleetwood right behind him at 4 under. Scotty Scheffler just 1 under right now. This is part 1 of a 3 tournament playoff right now to crown the PGA Tour champion of the season. So it's the 70 best golfers of the year on the PGA Tour today, and then they'll cut it down to 50, and they'll cut it down to 30 for the finale. But Harris English, Tommy Fleetwood, your leaders right now. Fleetwood was your champion last year as well, so he's looking to go back-to-back.
He's going back-to-back. Who's the favorite?
Scotty.
Figures.
Always
Maybe
will
he'll
be.
finally win something.
Rory's second. It's no different than everything else, which the Rory stuff is interesting because he did not participate in enough PGA Tour events this year to be, like you have to play in 15 tour events. He's going to end up playing in 14.
So why is he there? Just because he's Rory, he gets an exception?
He said he had a long conversation with the commissioner of the PGA Tour, and I think they're going to work it out. So, yeah, I would assume they're going to work it out. It's Rory McIlroy, but classic Rory, just bending the rules for me. Make sure you have it set up for me. So
but then
I
he
can do
got
whatever
all
I want.
then he got all pissy when Beefy Bryson did the same thing with the where the ball lies a couple weeks ago.
He gets pissy about everything. He also said, "I'd love to give LeBron a golf lesson." All right.
Sure.
I mean, maybe I would want to see that. I don't really know. Okay, anyways, continuing here in the news, we had a pro debut yesterday from the Tigers' first-round pick in Lakeland, Cameron Flukie, the right-hander. Just an easy light outing. He only goes 1 1/3, but they had a 35-pitch max for him, so he threw 32 pitches or something like that. But he goes 1 1/3, no hits, 2 Ks, 2 walks, no runs allowed. Okay, nice job, Cameron Flukie. Let's do some bigger news that dropped in the middle of the day yesterday. Russell Westbrook retires from the NBA. I don't want to say this was unexpected because we knew Westbrook was probably either going into his last year or had just finished his last year. But I don't know. I just thought another team would sign Russell Westbrook. It seemed like he wasn't done playing basketball.
No.
And apparently the Kings wanted to bring him back. Also the Washington Wizards, who he had a really good year with a few years back, said that they were heavily interested in bringing him in to have a final year type season for him. And he said he wanted to go out on his own terms, and he was done playing basketball. So,
yeah, I thought he
Brody
had a little bit
is
more
done.
left in the tank.
So did I.
For a bad team. Because I think
of course,
all
like
the good
Washington
teams
or Sacramento, yeah.
all the good teams have recognized at this point, this guy's just a negative player on our team.
Can you name every team that Russell Westbrook played for in his career? Because
okay, ready?
I did this
OKC.
yesterday with John, and Westbrook obviously got to a point where it was like, oh, man.
The rainbow.
He's just hopping around every team. He was on the Thunder for his whole career.
Did John get all of them or no?
No, he did it to me.
Oh, okay. So I got
all of them, but it took me a minute to remember one of them.
I think I got this. OKC.
Yep.
Houston.
11 years. Yep. Houston for the 1 year.
Washington.
Washington for the 1 year.
Lakers.
Yep. Lakers for a year and a half.
Sacramento.
Sacramento finished his career there.
Denver.
Denver was the second to last year of his career. You're missing one. This was the same one that it took me a minute to remember. Same exact one. In between the Lakers and the Nuggets. I know. It was the same one for me. Spent a year and a half with this team.
East or West? Had to have been West, right?
Yeah, he played 89 games for this team.
Really?
Yeah. You kind of forget about it, but it makes sense once I tell you, or if once you remember it.
It's not the Suns. It's not the Warriors. I'm just trying to go like regional. It's none of the Texas teams.
Yeah, he was traded from the Lakers to this team. Maybe he got waived from the Lakers and got signed by this team, spent the rest of the season with them, and then played one additional year with them.
I don't know.
The Clippers with Paul George.
He was good. Yeah, he was
with
good
Paul
with the
George
Clippers.
and Kawhi, yeah. Yep, so he went from LA to LA. Shout out to Russell Westbrook, though, obviously. MVP, 9-time All-NBA, 9-time All-Star. Never won a ring, unfortunately. Was a part of the NBA 75. I've always liked Westbrook. A lot of people don't like Westbrook. I think he's a good guy, and I think that's what matters more than anything. So.
You know, is his basketball IQ in question sometimes? Yes. Does he have a feel for the game on the level of some other Hall of Famers? No.
Yeah.
But does he out-hustle everybody on the court at all times? Yes, and I can always appreciate someone who does that.
And he's like a good family man.
Sure, I have no idea about that, but
He is. Like, he always talked about it like his son. Like, he brings his son up to the podium with him all the time. He's always, I'll give him that.
It feels like he was always hard to connect with.
Fraudulent MVP, yeah. But, like, whatever. One more thing I'll ask you about Westbrook. Can you just guess what his career points, rebounds, assists were? Not like total, like his average.
Really dips down the last couple
exactly.
of years.
I just want to know what you would guess.
10 points per game. Too low.
I'm saying, like, over his entire career? I mean, he never averaged less than 10 points per game in a single season.
16 points per game. 7 assists, 7 rebounds? I don't know.
Yeah, the rebound's good. 21, 7, and 8.
Oh, okay. That's
over his career.
Better than I would have guessed. It really took a dip the last couple of years.
Pretty good career numbers, honestly. We got NFL preseason today. Very excited for the Lions game. I'm probably not going to watch any of the other games, unfortunately. Tigers, though, they're at 110, as we mentioned. Kiter Montero versus Parker Messick. Big-time game today.
The Guardians are the favorites today, unfortunately.
Yeah. We need a big Montero game. We haven't talked about him in a minute, you know?
Show up, Montero. You know, I did have someone question me down on the concourse last homestand. They said, why do you think Kiter Montero is part of the rotation long term? And I was kind of caught off guard. Like, people don't think this? So I guess he still does have a little bit to prove amongst some of the Tigers fans. So
I would have said the same thing maybe like 2 months ago. I think it got to a point after they traded Mize. It was like, okay, yeah, he's just clearly part of the rotation next year.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. About an hour from first pitch. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We will take a trip for our 3 traditions when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mitt. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, we have 3 traditions to close out each and every show. The first tradition we have is our Lock of the Day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
We did not hit yesterday. Bad start to the week.
No RBI for Dillon Dingler.
No.
No.
Yeah.
You should have just had Dillon Dingler do anything. Lock of the day. Didn't hit.
That's okay. We're riding the hot hand today. I'm going with Spencer Torkelson. 2 hits plus runs plus RBI plus 110. Parker Messick on the mound. Left-handed pitcher. Read you the stats earlier. Torkel's been on fire really all season long against the left-handed pitching. So I will rock with Torkelson to do something. Get a hit, 2 hits, a hit that leads to an RBI. Actually, like a single RBI really gets this done. Actually, that's not true because you could have a sacrifice fly that ends up being an RBI that doesn't actually record as a hit. Either way, he's got to have 2 hits plus runs plus RBI combined, and that will get it done. Taylor fade.
I think I have a plan today.
Okay.
I think I'm going to tactically fade.
Oh,
Plus 110 today.
okay.
I think me fading is like a way of, I'm continuing to doubt you, Spencer Torkelson. I've been doubting you for weeks. I've been doubting you for months. And what have you been doing? You've just been continuously starting to prove me wrong. Do it again.
Yeah.
Do it again, huh?
Come on, Tork.
I'm fading you. You're not going to do that today, Torkelson. I'm fading that. So that when he does, it's a win for you. It's a win for the Tigers.
You're really like a sacrificial lamb
Yeah,
here.
I'm like sacrificing.
For the greater good.
You've got to sacrifice. I'm like the dude from the Odyssey.
Which dude?
The big dude. I can't remember all their names.
Oh, Agamemnon.
Yeah. Right.
I don't really know what he sacrificed, though.
He has like the big sacrifice.
Oh.
It's like kind of like a whole point of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't seen it.
At this
It
point.
doesn't really play that much into the movie like hardcore, I guess.
You get like 2 or 3 weeks, man. Once it's been 3 weeks, I think you don't get to avoid
This movie's a little
the spoilers,
different. This
though.
movie's a little different because it's like you got to go to a certain place to see it. You know, you can't just like go to your local theater. You can, obviously, but
Yeah, but if you haven't seen it by now, you're probably just not going to see it.
no, that's not true.
Or you're going to see it at home and watch a totally different movie.
Come on. By the way, quick movie talk. The Dog Stars with Josh Brolin and Margaret Qualley and
Jacob Elordi
coming out in two Fridays. Pretty pumped about that.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying the book for that movie is really good.
Really?
Yeah.
I do like apocalyptic movies. And that's kind of what this seems like. So
Guy Pearce is in this movie too. Yeah, I'm
like, intrigued. I'm also not into like love apocalyptic movies. So like we'll see
but
what
when
ends
it's
up happening.
Elordi and Margaret Qualley though, it's like how can you not be into it?
I'm sure I'll go see it.
Yeah, sacrificial fade today. That's the play.
Thank you, Kyle, for contributing to the greater good. That's our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
All right, game of the day.
Game of the day.
No fever
Oh, come on.
game today. What?
Come on.
Oh, yeah, the Lions preseason game is the game of the day. Yeah. Oh,
Easy
I'm starting
one.
to shake it. Yeah, Lions versus Bungles preseason at 7 o'clock in Cincinnati. That's going to be our game of the day.
Game of the day.
I got 2 words for you. Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Must-see TV.
Okay,
It is the battle of the cats tonight.
the Bengals and the Lions. Are they the only 2 cats?
Now you got the Jaguars.
Yeah, and the Panthers.
Yeah, there's hella cats.
All sorts of cats, yeah.
Not any that make those noises though.
Let's go to our scoreboard watching. Yesterday, of course, the Tigers lost to the Guardians. They are now 2 games below 500. Scoreboard watching. If you want to look at the actual MLB standings now after last night's loss.
Standings watching.
Scoreboard watching. The Tigers are 3.5 games out from first. Minnesota passed them. They are still a half game up on Cleveland. As for the wild card, the Tigers were passed by Minnesota and are still just a half game out because of the result of the Texas game. Texas yesterday, they lost. They lost again to the Angels, 5-2. We're hoping Texas continues to lose. The White Sox, unfortunately, won yesterday, so they gained some ground. The Yankees beat the Mariners, which means the Mariners fall further out of this race. And the Twins won, which is why they gained some ground against the Orioles, who continue to fall out of the race. And that's scoreboard watching. Okay, let's see. Last thing we got to do is predict what Colin Cowherd's going to open up his show with.
I got to come up with a Colin sounder. I think I need to add it because all these other traditions have something that gets you into it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to add a Colin sounder.
His would just be like Caleb Williams.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that. Okay, let's go. Okay, here we go. 69-68. Ben got a point yesterday. Whoop. Lakers lead. Yeah, that was my bag. So it was my turn to go first, and I overlooked it. I was too focused on the McCarthy stuff. So it's Ben's turn to go first today, and he picked up a point yesterday. Yikes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, episode 299 today, by the way. So episode 300 is tomorrow. 300, another gladiator, Greek mythology type movie.
There's like a Jane and Daniels thing.
Oh, I put this in the news, and I forgot to say it. Yeah, he's suing LSU.
Because he doesn't think he was treated correctly.
Well, they gave a cornerback his number, and they're like, you should have my number retired.
Yeah, I think this is
he's suing him.
His mom, to be honest, just kind of throwing a fit.
I think it is, too.
I'll go with, I'll double down on the Lakers stuff. He's learned more since it, so I'll try to get a second point on this Lakers.
I was going to do that.
Nonsense.
I was going to do that. I could see some sort of football thing. I could see a Deshaun Watson, Shadur Sanders thing, for sure. But you know where I'm going to go? Russell Westbrook lead.
Oh, that's not bad.
I don't think he'll do it. I don't really know what the lead is. I bet he just talks about Westbrook.
Not bad.
I think it's going to be actually Shadur Browns. I should have done that. Whatever.
All righty. That's going to do it for us today. Appreciate everybody for listening. We'll be back tomorrow, 9 o'clock, maybe talking a little Lions preseason. Enjoy watching the game tonight. Hope to see you guys at Dow Diamond at some point this weekend. 80s night tonight, so hopefully we see you later.
The Ben Bosscher